right. The frenzy is back, and we are ready to rock. Are we ready to rock?
For those of you about to rock, I salute you.
We salute you.
Nice, Oz. Nice.
Best impression I could do.
That's very good. Drink that water now. So,
Wait, there's
guys,
supposed to be water in here?
That's right, coffee. Are you guys surviving the heat? Adam, Oz, are you experiencing it right now? Because I am experiencing it.
It's 90 degrees.
You can see it. This is actually a little bit of a lighter green, and like got sweat across the brow. It's crazy humid here in Maryland right now.
Yeah.
Insane.
I'm surprised you're not dousing that with water.
I do during the day. A lot of times.
Good.
Yeah, I'll like go to the bathroom, run it under cold water, and then wrap it around my head. But I didn't want to do that before we go live because then I'm just going to be like drenched.
Oh, man. I mean, and Adam is in a sweater. That's like incredible.
Well, my basement is always like 10 degrees colder than the rest of the house, even in summer. So
I'm moving into your basement.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, you guys come sleep on the couch.
Hell yeah.
Down for it, man. It's too hot lately. I don't like the heat.
Well, folks, we've got Bob. As you can tell, Bobby is missing from tonight. But I did hear a rumor that he might pop in a little bit later on. We'll have to see about that. And Oz, it is so good to have you back, my friend.
Man, I am so happy to be back. I can't say this enough. Another big, huge shout out to Aaron Payne's Toy Samples. Sent me an amazing link on a deal on a new laptop. This thing is gorgeous. It runs great. And awesome. I also cannot thank you all enough who donated to the tip jar, those that bought some merch from the merch store, and just you guys were able to make it so like I wasn't expecting to be able to get a new laptop until like the end of June, going into July. I really didn't expect to have it. But between that deal and the money that was raised through all of that, made it happen. And thank you all so much. It means the world to me for that extra help.
We have an amazing community. I can't even express like how amazing it is. It is like, it's the best. You guys, everybody watching, thank you. You are the best.
Absolutely.
And look at how crisp and clear your stuff behind you is. I love seeing all that.
Right? Like you actually read the names of the games I got over here.
I love it. Well, we've got an exciting show tonight. We're going to be talking spaceships, and that is tonight's theme. Of course, we always push the boundaries of our theme, and who knows what might pop up. But I mean, we've got, there's some pretty incredible news too that has occurred in the Masters of the Universe community in particular, and the Star Wars community in the during the last month. So there's a lot of stuff to talk about tonight. I'm excited to do it.
Definitely.
Oz, you asked me what I thought of the Cantina announcement from HasLab.
Yeah.
And it's gorgeous, but man, it's a price
tag.
That's an investment.
It's an investment in space. It's an investment in price. But at the same point in time, if you've got the money and you've got the space for it, deluxe all the way, and the figures, oh my God, like it's a dream.
The figures.
Like, when they mention a dream project, right?
Mm-hmm.
That to me is like one of the dreams. It's one of the most iconic scenes in the film industry is them in the cantina.
It's the best.
And just like, there are two really big scenes that I mean, each movie has its own scene that I absolutely love. We know we've all heard me talk about my love for Jabba's palace and the throne room and everything that goes down there. That's my biggest one. The second biggest is probably this cantina. And I don't know, because like there's so many similarities between the two, right? Like with the music and that smoky, seedy atmosphere. and just the way the cantina place sets, it's modular, and you get okay, the bartender, yeah, whatever, that's kind of cool, right?
No, I'm cool. That's exciting. I love that the bartender has an action figure.
But the Donica sisters, like,
I know. Every boy
outfit?
every boy in the universe, every man who loves Star Wars is like, finally,
Just-
right? Please.
Not even just the men. I mean, these are two characters that have been denied us
Yes, that's so true. Yeah.
when they've made everybody else in these freaking movies like every extra anywhere,
See,
and we had yet to get these figures, and
thank
we're
you,
finally
Oz.
getting them.
Thank you.
It's almost worth the price alone for them.
It's insane that they weren't made into toys previously. And it's insane that they weren't
Ugly
recognized
rights
previously.
Yeah, it's ugly rights battles and stuff like that.
Yeah,
and
I'm sure.
Lucasfilm and some bad blood with Lucas and the one girl. Well, more her husband
really?
than her.
I didn't know that. That's interesting.
Yeah. So
didn't know
basically, her husband was all like, it was only one of the sisters, one of the models. Basically, he was like, "Hey, we should be getting some money for all this stuff." And I mean, sure, yeah, absolutely. Any kind of merch with, them on it, they should definitely be getting money for it.
Mm-hmm.
So they kind of approached, and lawyers got involved, and it got ugly. And that's why we have not had anything with them, forever. So like,
Yeah, that
there was a
sucks.
couple like posters and screenshots that you could see back in the day, but really since then, there's not been anything. Absolutely anything about them. So this is huge. It's momentous.
Yeah, I'm excited.
Bigger than just the cantina itself. Those figures alone are incredible. And the fact that they got there was two different Wolfmen in the cantina in the original, and one looked like a slightly better Wolfman costume than the other.
Yeah.
We're finally getting the crappy Wolfman.
Yes. Yeah. Well, that's like the scene, and a shout out to Aaron Davies for sending me the original theatrical release of Star Wars, of A New Hope, Star Wars, and finally being able to relive the cantina scene unaltered by Lucas later on.
Yeah.
Like, huge.
Just the whole movie. Me growing up, the special edition was a big thing because I finally got to see those original movies in
the
theaters.
theater, yeah.
It was huge for me. And there was a lot of the edits and things that they did that I know a lot of older fans may not have liked. But to me, mind you, I could throw down with anybody who said they may have watched that movie more than me, even though I was born in 85.
Oh, I believe it.
I wore those VHS tapes out. I used to watch all three of those movies religiously daily.
I believe it.
So I freaking loved those original films, but it was so cool to see them add into it a little bit, right? Like, and again, I know a lot of people didn't necessarily like it, and that's great, I get it. To have those unaltered ones though, because there are times it's like, just like to go back and watch the originals, but you can't. Like, I cannot find VHS copies to save my life for that.
No,
and I know there's like rumors about this or that version of it.
Yeah, I if you grew up watching them on VHS or I think what my household had was video disc, which was not laser disc. It was a big plastic thing.
That's what we had
in the
too.
machine. Yeah, you had that too,
Oh,
Adam?
man. I don't even remember those. That's insane.
You shove it in the machine, and then you click the big lever, and then you pull the empty plastic sleeve out, and it was basically a laser disc inside the machine doing the work. And
right.
And to be able to see those films as I saw them as a kid is great.
Yeah, absolutely. I
mean, the worst. I was gonna say the one that bothers me the most is in Jedi, in the dance scene in Jabba's palace. Like, they just ruined that one. I can't watch it.
I'm gonna go into a little segment here where I'm going to go on a tangent, but when Jedi came out in the theaters, they aired a special effects special where they explained how all the creatures worked, and I think my dad videotaped that, and I watched it like hundreds of times, just like how they made the monsters, how the little guy in Jabba's tail turning the thing, and and I think it was like a son of Phil Tippett, or the son of one of the Industrial Light and Magic guys, was doing the dances of Cy Snoodles, the original vocalist for the band, and I fell in love with all of that, and for them to take most of that out and replace it with something completely different just really hurt my feelings. But that was back then. I know I've met younger people these days that are huge Star Wars fans that have an attachment to those characters that were brought in. The computer generated singer that looks like a mutated guinea pig.
Yeah, that's accurate.
And they have attachments to that, and I can totally respect that. And just like I can respect people who have attachments to the prequels. But man, I just every once in a while I'll look up the band, like the original band action figures, Max Rebo and Cy Snoodles, and can't remember the name of the other guy.
Oh yeah, I'm trying to remember his name too. The one that just looks like a bunch of pillows.
Yeah, the pillow clarinetist. Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. The shaved wombat. Yeah.
Yeah.
I sometimes look those up online, and those are they're always pretty expensive. But hey, yeah, John, figuratively speaking, great to see you. Yeah, we got a pretty good crowd here. Oz, do you want to go through and say hi to folks?
Oh, you know it. Oh,
I love it when Oz is here because you're gonna do it. You do it so much better than me.
All right, we're gonna fly through this thing here. Just give it a couple seconds. I'm glad we gave it a little bit of time so we can let it build up a little bit.
Cool.
We've got Motu Origins Cork first in the house saying, "Oi." We have Ace here. What's going on, Ace? Good to see you.
Good to see you.
My buddy's Customs, and although this is not the original message that he came in with saying, "Hey, people," but we had complaints. They say, "You hear that, guys? Once a month is not enough."
Maybe we'll return. Maybe we'll do twice a month moving forward. We'll have to discuss it.
We're figuring out the new format. We've got things that we're trying to kick out. There was a lot of stuff going on at the time.
Oh,
and
for sure.
We'll figure it out, guys, because we love you all.
But thank you, bud. That means a lot.
Yes, it does. And figuratively speaking, himself here saying hello, all. Aaron is saying good evening, frenzy freaks. I like that.
Yeah, I just gave you a shout out, Aaron. Good to have you here.
And then we've got Ronald Embry here joining in with us. Allison saying greetings,
right,
my
Allison.
beautiful
Good
summer children. I love it when she comes in with all that.
I know.
All right. We've got Ray Black saying hi, Vader, Ozman, Adam in the chat. Joe Gonzalez.
Hi, Joe.
I have been mispronouncing this man's name for like almost over a year now.
Really?
Joe, I always said it was Gonzalez. And just this past week on Clubhouse, Punk had asked him how he actually pronounces that because he's never actually heard him pronounce it before. And Joe told us it's Joe Gonzalez. Joe, I'm sorry. I've been mispronouncing
Joe Gonzalez.
I've been mispronouncing his name.
Me too. Joe, I'm so sorry, man. I've been mispronouncing it too.
Definitely. So good to have you here, brother. Thank you. Also, he is now an official member. I don't know if you guys heard of our good friends, the Legends of Grayskull, as well as our friends Just Shelve It, Jesse, on Let's Go Off-World. And
nice.
They beat me to it. They're going to start doing a D&D Mythic Legions kind of game going on.
Nice.
So excited to see that. Really excited.
Well, congrats, Joe. Cool. That's awesome.
All right, we have Broman. What's going on, brother? Say ahoy,
he has been like pumping out the new why am I blinking out on this? The new
Well, of his new customs, like he's
customs. Why am I blinking out on the word customs?
He's even remade a lot of like the original ones that he did.
I know,
too. And oh man, it's crazy looking. And I always know it's him because he's the only one who's sending me a message at like 4 a.m. my time.
I know. I wake up in the morning and I get a message from him. I don't know when he sent it, in the middle of the night sometime.
Yeah, but like, I'll come up and I got like 4 or 5 reels.
I love it. I love it.
All right, and we got Cobweb Collector in the house. Hello, peoples.
All right.
Now I know some other people jumped in here while I was going through that, and I want to highlight them as we go down. We've got Joseph K saying hello with that really wicked 2000X Skeletor.
Yeah, that's great, Joseph.
Great to see.
Good to see you here.
And this guy,
who let this guy in?
Come on, brother, come on, join us.
Come on in, Bobby.
Yeah, he's saying Joe McCool. Oh man, if you guys have not been checking out all of the amazing work Bobby is pumping out on his channel for all the Decker Northcutt universe, as well as his Western stuff he's got going on. It's nuts. Like it is insane. Nuts. Keep it up, brother. Like every day I've got new stuff to listen to.
Bobby, I got to tell you, man, I am having a hard time keeping up, and that is a good thing. That is a really good thing. So keep going.
All right. So Ray is mentioning that Nolan's gonna show up, but he went for a ride on his bike. He has a big bike collection.
Yeah. That's
different
cool.
Dirt bikes, motorcycles. Great to see.
Nice.
So with Ray here, she's saying she's here, so it's half official.
Yes, absolutely.
Honestly, just having her in the chat as well. It makes you just as official.
Yep. All
right. So, Joe's mentioning first episode is Life on Offworld, and Joe's the DM.
Nice.
Oh man, that's gonna be a wild ride. Joe is amazing.
That's cool.
Very cool.
That's great, Joe. Oh, look,
there he is. Nolan is here now, which brings us fully official. I don't know how I ended up missing that through there.
I love that though. I love that. I love that Nolan is like, I could say, I'm picturing Nolan out with his phone on his bike, stopping and then typing in the response. Just to
I'm picturing him with a Walkman listening to us.
Yeah.
He's got the headphones on like a cassette player. We're not played through cassettes, but it'd be awesome if we were.
Yeah. So this is
That's
great.
What we should do. We should record the episodes on tapes and send them out to everybody, and you got to have a cassette player to play.
That'd be awesome.
Hey, speaking so I know I got stumped on the word customs, and that's super weird for me. I don't know how, I must have, like, my brain just froze, but I just hung out with Vine Jungle Figure Factory yesterday because he was in town. He flew in to work on a project because he builds haunt rides. That's right. His career. Aside from doing the customs and stuff like that,
ever, by the way.
I mean, anything that people do with their hands is like super cool for me. But Alan does really amazing work, and it was really cool to hang out with him yesterday. And I took him to TNT Collectibles, which is in Fresno here, and we did some shopping. I picked up a vintage land shark.
Nice.
Yes, and a complete one this time, not the bits and pieces we found here.
I know, right? But that store, Oz, the store that you and I went to, what was it called again?
Lost in Time Toys. I'll never forget the name because we were lost in time.
We were almost late to the airport because of it, because it was so freaking amazing. But this thing, hey Kenzo, good to see you. So I was super stoked to get this. One of my big complaints with the Origins Land Shark was that they just repeated this gun rather than including this version. No, repeat. They did 2 versions of this gun and not this one. But man, this is in great shape. So I was really impressed. Whenever I did have this as a kid, and whenever I find something that I had as a kid at a local vintage toy shop, I always wonder, was that mine? Like, is this the one that I had? Maybe. I took pretty good care of mine. But
see, I'm always jealous of you guys being able to say stuff like that because I know what happened to mine.
I know, Oz. I know it's devastating.
But I'd love to just kind of like have that feeling like walking through like some kind of local thrift store and just be like, could this have possibly been the one that I owned as a kid? And you never know. Like, unless you marked it like Andy or something, you never know.
Yeah. So it was, but most importantly, it was awesome to hang out with Alan. Folks, if you don't follow Vine Jungle Figure Factory on Instagram, definitely go do that because he's doing great stuff. And he's a very nice guy too. It was really nice to hang out with him.
So David was asking this for Adam here.
Yeah, those are the Super 7 Rudy Obrero prints.
Oh, cool. Nice.
Shout out to Kenzo popping in with us tonight. Good to see you, brother. Thank you for being here.
Good to see you, Kenzo. So we are talking spaceships tonight. And I love this because this is like, we rarely go into outer space. Sometimes we often find ourselves landlocked talking about our talking about our barbarians. But we always we have a tendency to venture into new adventures territory, and that's definitely like a space themed show, even though some sequences took place on land. But those ships the spaceships in New Adventures of He-Man, in my belief, is that's what saves the show, because the spaceship animation is just so friggin' amazing. Motu Origins Cork is having a martini.
Having a martini with some olives. He brought the olives for Allison, I heard.
Oh, what was going on with the whole olives thing? I didn't understand that.
Okay. Just Google Maury Povich olives.
So
I mean, Maury Povich to start that, you're treading wonderful territory.
I know, but so he hasn't been on the collective mind for a long time. So what brought Maury Povich back to the interest?
Oh, this was just a thing with Cobb and Allison, and it got taken to the next level here. But it's been hilarious.
Did Cobb and Allison start that? Because I've seen it like all over social media.
Oh wow, I didn't know it stretched that far. I'm giving them credit for it because they were the one that brought that back into my life.
I like this comment. You brought back Maury. That's awesome. I missed all that, and I like this. I want to be part of the cult of the everlasting olive.
Oh yes. I heard it's got some cheekage. Cheeks.
Hey, look.
Matching cheeks.
Let's do a cheek cheek to cheek here.
Nice. Oh, wait, this way. Here we go.
Yeah.
Grown men making fart noises on the internet, people. That's what you all are signed up for.
This is quality entertainment.
Oh, that's great. See, I keep forgetting when I go out to buy batteries for this thing. Oh man.
Can you hear that okay?
Yeah, I could hear it.
Yeah, that's cool. I got to remember to take the batteries out so it didn't rot in there, because that's an amazing toy.
I love it. I only wish it was like slightly bigger, but I still love it. That's why it sits on my desk always.
Yeah,
it's my desk buddy.
I got him right there. He's awesome. And a shout out to Alan. I don't know if you all saw on Instagram. I couldn't tell who sent that to me because the address and the name of the person on the return address was like covered up and screwed up. I couldn't see who it was. So for about a week, I didn't know who had sent that to me. So yeah. Slimy cheeks bumping.
I was gonna say, yeah. Ray asked, "What the hell did I just?" There was a little bit of ass to ass on the frenzy. All right, I'm just gonna put it out there.
It's all in love.
Cry of a new generation. Ass to
That's
ass.
right. That's right. So I don't know. Do we want to talk about anything else? Like anything like that's like hot on our minds right now? Before we jump into our first segment.
I don't even know. I don't know where to start. It's been so. Normally, it's only been a week, right?
Yeah.
And we've only got like a little bit of weekly banter to go through and all like that. It's been almost more than a month. Since I've been on the frenzy with you guys, because last time I kept trying to join through my phone, it was not happening.
Yeah. But I mean, aside from like the cantina, which I'm hoping to see people. Yes, Keith David all the way. Human centipede, but Slimer. That's hilarious. I think like here's what I want to see. I want to see because I'm definitely not getting that HasLab cantina, but I want to see people customize that cantina to be a reaction. Masters of the Universe Eternia.
Oh man, that would be crazy.
That was my first thought when I saw that. Give that a good spray paint with some pink, add and change a few elements, and it would definitely be reaction figure Eternos for sure.
I'm sorry I even mentioned it.
No, assimilation. That's funny. And then there's like the Mondo announced the scare.
They showed off.
Yeah.
The
Scare
deluxe scare glow itself.
Yeah.
And then they had like the test print of Scare Mare with it. And then they revealed that shadowy image of it.
Yeah,
man,
I know.
That's so bad.
It's like that's the size. I'm picturing it like the width and the height of Eternia playset, like almost that size. Like that's the way it looks to me.
So we're getting the wonderful Batman count from McFarlane here from Allison. If you guys hadn't seen her do this on the many different shows upon YouTube, where Allison is our permanent counter of how many Batmen and other Batman DC or Bat family affiliated projects that Todd has, because he's still grasping the idea that there is more to the DC universe than Gotham City and Batman.
Yeah.
So it's been so long that McFarlane has announced 197 Batman, 167 Jokers, 130 Robins. 97 of the Robins have the wrong cape. 6 have no cape whatsoever. 1 wears a slice of ham as a cape. 92 Batwings and 36 Batmobiles. Speaking of, that's another bit of news that got dropped today that John Emerald Knight Photos brought to us, or at least he's the one that brought it to my attention. McFarlane just teased the animated series Batmobile.
Yeah,
I love that car.
Cool.
Like my 2 favorite Batmobile, aside from the 1960s Adam West Batmobile, that's like third for me. My 2 favorite are the 89 / Batman Returns Batmobile, like that one. And then, of course, the animated series one. There's just something so sleek and beautiful about those Batmobiles.
Those are my favorites too.
Yeah, the Batmobile from the television show is the best. It's so cool. It's like the stylized version of the '89 Batman Batmobile, but it's more of like I don't know, Art Deco. No, not Art Deco style, but Art Deco.
No, you're
style.
right. Art Deco style.
Art Deco.
Yeah.
The whole Batman the Animated Series was based off of like the World's Fair City of Tomorrow, right? You know, like that whole thing. And I love those designs. I still kind of wish today that we had like, you know, actual dirigibles flying around the city patrolling for crime. Totally impractical. Like, we're going to chase you down. It's a high-speed chase, and we're going in a dirigible.
It's just for spotlights. Just for spotlights.
Yeah. So neat to see. I loved watching that as a kid, too.
I did pick up a McFarlane Batman. I haven't bought a McFarlane Batman in ages. But I did see the first appearance Batman with the purple gloves.
Oh, yes.
And I could not resist it. I'm a sucker for early versions of Batman. And
he's got a wired cape too?
Yeah, the cape is amazing. I'm thinking about putting it on. I can't really do that because it's got this, you can see it's got this plastic piece here.
Okay.
But I was like, maybe I can put it on the Origins cartoon collection Evelyn when she shows up. But
I was gonna say, you're gonna put that on Evelyn. That's exactly where we both went with that.
You were thinking that. Yeah. I'm a sucker for early Batman designs, and
you know what you could do? It's not a wired cape, but if you can find a cheap Andra from Masterverse, you could trim up her whole like hooded cowl look and turn that into a pretty cheap soft goods cape for Evelyn. I think that might work.
Is it black? Is it a black cape?
It's a dark gray, maybe not exactly black, but you could go buy like that fabric dye from the craft store and just dye it pitch black.
My wife and I just restarted the Filmation He-Man and the Masters of the Universe series. I mean, it's on constant rotation. I always I don't know why, but I am always pleasantly surprised at how good the Diamond Ray of Disappearance is as an episode. It's one of the 5 best episodes of that entire run. And when I saw Evelyn standing there in all of her glory with that cape, it just reminded me, why didn't they give the cartoon collection Evelyn a cape? Right. It makes no sense at all. None
whatsoever. Like, there's no reason they couldn't have thrown it in there, right? Like, none. It's not like it would have been that much more tooling, really.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I just Cape Master. Thank you, Kenzo.
Yeah, that's why I was leaving it up here. And Kenzo's absolutely right. Cape Master is one of the best if you're looking for capes. If you have some of those Robins that Allison was mentioning with the messed up or wrong capes, Cape Master, like, hands down, you need some good capes, Cape Master.
Thanks, Kenzo, and thanks, Allison. That's awesome.
Yeah, it does it in like that old, like even the superpower style with like the little plastic clip in the ring around the top.
I love that. Love that.
Those were the best, like, hands down, best toy capes.
I don't know why that ring around the neck is so awkward, but there's just something special about that. I love it.
It made the toys. I used to love that Batman and that Superman because of that little plastic ring neck.
Yep, for sure. I'm glad they kept that in the newer versions of them.
They did, but it's still not as good though, right? Like they're cheaper than the ones from back then, which is funny to say because it's not like those capes were amazing, but that nostalgia drive for that old quality.
Yeah. I'm definitely going to be ordering something from Cape Master.
Yeah.
Well, gentlemen, shall we jump into our first segment?
Who's going first? Are we doing the good
It's going to be Adam.
Let's do it.
Welcome to another edition of the Battle Ram Report, brought to you by Adam, author of the BattleRamblog.com website, the best Motu site on the web. He'll throw you a He-Man punch and a Skeletor blast. Be ready to get some knowledge. Take it away, Adam.
Be ready to get some knowledge.
Yeah.
I love that.
I was just about to say, I forgot that was pre-recorded, and I was like, okay, who's going to announce it, though? Without Bobby here.
I love hearing Bobby's voice. He's got such a great voice.
Definitely.
Yeah, that's awesome. All right, so the subject, well, it's more than this, but it's going to focus on Doomcopter from the New Adventures line, which is technically a spaceship, even though it's a helicopter, which makes zero sense. But it's depicted flying in space or on an asteroid or whatever.
In space.
Beautiful, just in the box here, beautiful William George box art. He did a lot of the art for the New Adventures line. So we'll go over Doomcopter and then the other spaceships in the line too.
Oh yeah, I'm excited.
There's a lot. Yeah,
there are quite a few. So this is the surviving piece of concept art by David Wolfram, the same guy who did all of the New Adventures Skeletors and most of the villains. And you can kind of see he's got that style. He loves skulls and wires and just creepiness. So, yeah.
Biomechanical Geiger influence all the way.
Definitely H.R. Geiger. I was gonna say, and you know, all the villain spaceships in New Adventures of He-Man, and going back also to Filmation too, with the She-Ra, the Hordak spaceship. All those look so heavily influenced by Geiger. I mean, the Fright Zone too, like so influenced by those alien designs.
Yeah, for sure. So I just took some shots, just kind of some beauty shots of it.
Yeah, beautiful.
So removable. So when it's packed in, like you have to add the skull and the jaw, and the rotor up top. There's space for one character to sit. You can go some of the other shots. Yeah, it has this strange, like it looks like it's got some real organic pieces in there, which for a vehicle is kind of disturbing.
Yeah, it's kind of like, you know, that's what H.R. Geiger's stuff is all about. It's like, whoa, there's some visual innuendo happening, and it's so organic that it's like, what kind of stuff are you thinking about here?
Skelly, real quick, if you could, because Motu Origins Cork I can see here on my one screen, he said in the chat, but I don't see it in the StreamYard chat. I'm wondering if you can see it on your end. He says it's Doom powered. The rotor is just for carving skeleton faces into moons.
Wait, I'm trying to find it.
It should be right under where I commented in the chat. I should get an Oz cape. But I don't see it in the StreamYard chat, and I don't know why.
I don't see it either.
I can see it like on my YouTube screen here so that I can type in the chat under my own name. I see it up there, but I don't see it here.
Apologies to everybody who
we may have missed a comment, right?
I don't know. I'm not even seeing it on my side here. Can you? So maybe Adam can speak to David's comment. Do you have any information about that?
No, I assume he's joking. I don't know. I haven't seen it in any of like the comics. So what I've seen it mostly is just in some of there's the advertisements, and there was like a German magazine, but it's possible because a lot of the material for this that this does appear in is in like German. So, and I don't speak German, so maybe.
That's cool. David, maybe enter that again, just to see if we can see it again. Because
I can see where he's typed in stuff since then, but it's odd. Okay.
Oh, he's
gotcha. Okay.
Humongous
awesome.
Among Us.
That's right.
So just some close-ups. It's kind of fun to have optic in this because you can suppose it. So you've got an eyeball looking through the skull.
That's great.
I'd never thought about that. That's incredible. I love it.
It's very, very, very Evil Dead.
Right? It just makes it so much creepier now.
Yeah, love it. That's brilliant.
And this is the shot I managed to get of the glow in the dark feature. So the skull glows in the dark barely. You have to shine a really bright light on it, and then turn out the lights quickly. You know, it'll last for about 10 seconds, but it's there.
Yeah, lovely.
It glows.
Scan of the box top, which again shows the artwork, the glowing feature. So it's got a couple of different features, and we can, if we can switch to screen for a second, I can kind of show this off.
I got it.
So this is the only New Adventures vehicle that I have. So it's got two features basically. I mean, other than it's got little stirrups for a figure, but
nice.
It's got the articulated mouth, so you can. This one's broken. Like half of it's broken. It wouldn't normally fall off like that. But you can normally capture the good guys with it. But the other feature, I was gonna see if I can get it to work live on camera. So basically, you kind of wind up the blades here for a few turns. There we go. And then there's a button on the back that allows you to basically use it as a weapon. Wait, no. All right, this is not working out.
Don't break it. Oh, there we go. That's cool and dangerous.
So you can. It's basically, I don't know how this works if you're trying to fly this as a pilot, but it does launch.
Powered.
That's right. That's right. You just you might get decapitated in the process, but that's how it works.
And that's okay. It's worth it. That's right. Beautiful. So we're gonna just take a pause here because something we forgot to mention is we are going to be doing a giveaway tonight. And as per recent usual activity on the Frenzy, you're definitely going to be wanting to pay attention to Adam's Battle Ram report tonight, because the question we're going to be asking later on in the show, in order for you to potentially win the prize, is going to be based on what Adam is talking about tonight. Do we want to take a moment and show what the prize is going to be?
Yeah, let's do that.
Let's do that. And everybody is going to go back and rewind from the beginning now with that Battle Ram report.
I promise you, for those of you that are watching live, the trivia question that will come from the Battle Ram report will be from this point forward. So it won't be anything pertaining to what Adam has already talked about. So I'm going to go ahead and make Adam big here.
All right, so this is courtesy of David, Motu Origins Quark. He sent this to us as a giveaway. So this is Fangor
all right.
from the Motu Origins line.
Can you all see that? It's a little blurry on my end, but there you go.
One of the best snake men ever.
Yeah. Fangor, folks. Fangor. If you want a Fangor tonight, we're going to be giving this away, and so pay very close attention to Adam's Battle Ram report, and we'll also be we'll be giving you all an opportunity to answer a trivia question later on in the show. So do stick around too. All right. Sorry, remembered I was like, oh, okay, I knew there was something I was forgetting.
We always forget stuff.
Yeah.
All right.
Fangor is a real bangor. That's true.
Yeah.
So if you go to the next slide, the back of the box, it has a little bit of a kind of a bio of it, and I'll read it because it's depending on the size of your screen, you might not see it. So basically, they list the primary mission, transport Skeletor from space-based Skuldor to the battlefield. I assume that's like an early name for
Nordor.
Nordor, yeah, Skuldor.
I guess that makes sense. They were trying to stick with the theme, I guess, Skeletor, Skuldor, but yeah, it is shaped like a skull, but Nordor is a way better name.
Yeah, for sure. So it's a main base, space-based Skuldor on planet Denebria's hollow moon. And then they talk about the Guardian grabbing jaws for hand-to-mouth combat, Rip Rotor for wrecking Guardian strongholds, and Skull Shield glows in the dark for midnight sneak attacks.
It's not really a sneak attack if he's glowing.
Yeah.
That's true.
It's a little more style over substance.
Yeah.
It's beautiful. It's a beautiful toy.
For sure.
So it says here you gotta point it forward as if like so that the helicopter wing will go that way straight at you.
Right. Yeah, I think it doesn't go fast enough to really lift up vertically, so you have to kind of help it by tilting it in the direction you want it to go.
That makes sense. Good to see you, Night One. Welcome to it.
I still like seeing the back of the box, that cross sell. Like, I remember not caring too much for this toy line because, again, like it wasn't that same He-Man that I'd grown up with.
Right.
But yet it was still something so cool about seeing the cross sell with all the neat toys on the back of it. And I loved that Power Sword. I don't care what anybody says. It may not have been the original Power Sword, but it was a cool Power Sword.
Yeah, for sure. So here, I basically just got a lot of really cool looking shots from a combination of Mattel catalogs, and there was these German magazines that were basically told a story using figures. They did that for the vintage line and for the New Adventures line. So as a result, you have some really cool kind of diorama shots of the vehicles.
That netting looks like our background.
Yeah,
I was going to say, where did the netting come from?
Yeah, it was predicting the frenzy back then.
Right.
That's what it was.
That should be canon now. That's what that netting in our background represents.
That's right.
The netting from the Doomcopter mouth. It spewed it out and sprayed it on the background. Did I just hear a snort? Did somebody laugh and snort? I love that.
That was me.
Yes.
That was my Hordak snort.
You know, that's a good laugh when you can't control it and you got that snort on the end. That is a good laugh. Good chuckle.
Yeah. I'm full of joy tonight. Snorting joy. That's the nut. Yeah.
They caught all of us nuts.
Oh man. This is just beautiful artwork. Look at those crystals and you can tell that the graphic artists had fun with all this.
Definitely.
Yeah, well, and these are physical. This is a diorama that they made.
I love it.
Shoot. Which makes me wish I kind of had like a. I want that's all I want is dioramas. I love New Adventures diorama.
Yeah.
Alcala diorama.
Yes, absolutely.
Like one of the things that definitely sold us the toys as kids was, again, like that tour that they had with the diorama displays and everything like that. It makes me wonder, like, if they actually had the displays set up like this in stores, because I don't remember stores doing this as much, like coming into the 90s, right? Like you didn't see that often anymore.
No.
Used to be quite commonplace to see like a little box display with all the toys in kind of like a diorama style. If they had done that for these toys, because like I gotta tell you right now, I've never been the hugest fan of the New Adventures line, right? Like I felt like they were puny compared to my original He-Man toys, and just they didn't appeal to me as much. But this appeals to me. It speaks to me, like colors and everything. I love seeing the like crystalline shapes here and everything. Like this is really cool. Germany always has really cool stuff.
Yeah, for sure. And you notice they call it Skullcopter here. That was the overseas name for Doomcopter, which makes sense.
Yeah.
Terror Tread's that other weird vehicle there.
Dread Tread
here. Yeah.
I dig it.
Somebody was asking about the characters. There's Lizor on the kind of left, and then Hoov is on the right. And Skeletor is the pilot.
Lizor is Gorn, am I right?
Yeah,
Yes.
he's basically Gorn.
Yeah, he's the connection to Star Trek,
Gorn.
folks.
Totally Gorn. It's canon.
Are we ready to move on to the spaceships?
Yes. Let's do it.
And then this will be just kind of mostly just photos and just like a couple of points on their action features. I don't own any of these, never have. Astro Sub, so it's got a periscope. It'll connect to Starship Eternia. I think the point of it is it could go underwater and in space. It's like kind of for what's Hydron's vehicle.
I always thought this one was really, really cool as a kid. Again, I didn't have many of the New Adventure stuff. That was mostly my buddy Eric who had these.
Mm-hmm.
But just something about this ship I always really liked. I have no idea what it is. Maybe it was the wings that, fold down and fold back up. Kind of reminded me of the shuttle Tidarium. But I loved this toy. I thought it was one of the coolest.
Well, so last year or the year before, when the Buzz Lightyear movie came out, there were a couple of little ships that looked very similar to New Adventures Heroes ships. And I was always tempted, but I still haven't like grabbed one or two, but they look very similar to this.
As far as how it connects, I don't think I've got a picture of that, or I don't think I've seen it.
I'm working on it.
We do have a couple of cool. There's an ad from, I think, Magic Boy on the left, and then the German magazine on the right.
Nice. Beautiful.
Shuttle pod. Unless people still want to talk about Astro Sub.
Oh,
I'm currently looking for a picture of it connecting to Starship Eternia. Because it's funny, I do remember that being a thing, but I don't remember how it connected. But I remember it being advertised. Like I remember that being a thing. It's funny though, I typed that in and I cannot find a picture of it. I'll keep looking here for a moment.
Yeah.
Ace bought some of those Buzz Lightyear ships. That's cool. Those designs were very late 70s inspired. That's why they were so cool. Yeah, definitely like Battlestar Galactica inspired, Star Wars inspired. So, yeah, they're beautiful.
All right. So I have found one picture of it. And if this is how it connected, it is so lame.
Wait, I want to know. I want to know it. I want to see it.
It is not a great picture. It is really grainy.
Can you share it?
Oh, yeah, I can share it. I have the power. That's it.
Oh,
where is it? Oh, it's just sitting on the top.
Yeah,
sitting it on the top. That is not connecting it to the damn place that it's parking it on.
That's great. And whoever posted this picture too, I commend you on your wood paneling. Also, are you sure it's not you?
No, it's not me. That is not this room that I'm currently in. It said the source was from Facebook. Maybe I could go back and look at whose Facebook page it is if they're not locked down private. But yeah, I totally remember them saying it connected. But if this is how it connected, it's cheesy. It is what it is.
Yeah, it's just a little cheesier than Point Dread.
well, at least Point Dread, it made sense sitting up there. This
I guess so.
It's like we've got enough space between the handles. You could just put it right on top.
I love it. I love it.
All right, let me stop sharing here. I will update us if I find anything else.
All right, shuttle pod, little evil vehicle. Yeah, it's a cool looking vehicle. Basically, it attaches to the pteropod, which is a land vehicle for the evil mutants. Kind of fairly simple. It's got a cool little bubble cockpit. There's space for weapons storage in the back.
Yeah, that's cool.
Which we show in the next.
It reminds me a lot of the Eternia playset tram.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, definitely.
Sure. Even the weapons in there kind of remind me of
very Eternia-esque, right?
Yes,
just kind of plain a little odd. Yeah. Like I never got the idea what that one, like the one that's on the far right was like a gun or a blaster rifle. The one in the middle kind of reminded me of a harpoon. I never had any idea what the one all the way on the left was supposed to be.
Yeah, that's strange.
No idea. Yeah.
And I don't remember many of the characters that were actually able to hold, like the more spearhead, the trident one, like that thing, that actually could be held by a lot of the characters. The other ones, like the way they held the weapon, it was so awkward. I was like, why didn't you just give him a stick?
I love those weird weapons. I love the weird weapons that came with Eternia too. And
yeah,
very cool.
It was a fun element, like it made it neat.
And the frenzy grid is featured here as well.
That's right.
Yep. Yes, it is. Okay. I have confirmed that is the only way that, because I found the picture on the box, and that is the only way that the Astro Sub connects to Eternia. It literally sits on top of one of those pylons. Or you could also put the shuttle pod on there too, because they got cool. That same round base at the bottom, so you could put that on the top of your Starship Eternia as well in that same format.
That's cool.
But that's it. That's literally the only way it connects to it. It's just like a little parking pad at the top, I guess.
Yeah, that's great. I'm all for it.
Battlebird, one of my favorites. It actually it looks like almost like it's the prototype for the way that the 2000X vehicles design.
Yeah,
yeah.
A lot of them kind of have this sort of look.
Definitely, especially with those colors too.
Mm-hmm, yeah, bright blue and orange. It has a handle. There's a button on it. Basically, you could use it to either grab figures. It had a little weird looking bomb you could hold in the claws and drop it. So it's a fun vehicle, and the neck articulated.
Neck swivel side to side like this.
Oh, really?
Yeah, because like you kind of hold it like there's a handle behind the seat.
Yeah.
And like that had your controlling actions, and the head swiveled from side to side.
It
was a pretty cool toy. To me, this was like one of the most reminiscent of the original toy lines. Yeah, exactly. Like the Battlehawk.
Yeah.
Or Blasterhawk rather. The it definitely felt more like the original He-Man kind of toys.
Yeah. It does. It feels, I mean, it looks like it's a cousin of the Battle Ram.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Battlehawk, that was actually a 2000X vehicle.
Yeah.
Okay.
Which basically was like a robot bird, kind of like this.
Yeah.
Right.
That's cool. Oh yeah, there's that articulating neck.
Yep.
It was so cool.
Tharkus,
yeah, that was the both the Euro name and the concept name for him.
Listen, if you're starting a prog rock band with sci-fi influences, Tharkus is the name for you.
That's right.
and I really want to get a copy of that first album. So send it my way.
Although Sagittar is a good one too. That'd be a good prog rock name.
Also, Primus.
Primus is always a great band name. Just gonna put that out there. Also means you're gonna have amazing bass skills.
Yeah, I've always wanted to ask the guys if there's any connection, like where they got the idea for their name Primus. I'm pretty confident that they started previous, just slightly previous to New Adventures, but
by at least a year or two. I think.
Yeah, a year or two, but it's very close, very close. All right, Joseph, good. That's awesome.
You got your band name.
There's your band name, Tharkus.
So Starship Eternia. So it kind of reminds me. What's that GoBots playset? That.
Oh yes, right. Totally.
Definitely.
A little bit like that. Not quite as cool as that, but.
Well, it's pretty darn cool. I mean, that GoBots playset, I was super fascinated by it. But this is pretty great too.
Yeah.
You know what I always found funny about that, right? Okay, so like that GoBots playset, it's a transforming playset, turns into a robot, very similar to different Transformers, right? They had like the city or whatever that could transform into a transformer and stuff. And yet I love that scene in Big when Tom Hanks is just like, well, yeah, but this is lame. It's a building that turns into a robot. But yet these other toys that were like buildings that turned into robots, they were actually kind of cool.
I'm a huge GoBots fan. We're gonna do a side journey real quick. So Hasbro just announced that they're coming out with 3 GoBots, and I just noticed this yesterday, and I'm perplexed, folks. Those 3 GoBots have Transformers logos on them. And I'm sorry, but maybe Oz knows because I don't know, but what I grew up with was that it was GoBots against, GoBots was like a competitive transforming robot line. It was competing against Transformers. It was far lesser in quality, but I was totally in love with GoBots, and more so than Transformers, actually, to fully confess. And I always thought that they weren't associated, but because Hasbro's coming out with GoBots, they're now Transformers also. Oz, what do you know?
All right. So, in reality, we all know that Transformers and GoBots were 2 different properties.
Thank you. Okay, good. I'm not crazy then.
You are absolutely 100%.
Okay.
As a matter of fact, we're getting chimes in from the crowd as well. Hasbro bought GoBots and turned them into a young kids line.
Yep.
GoBots are from a similar line in Japan and US. They are 2 different companies. Also, GoBots fan and Transformers were too expensive and complicated
and dumb. Thank you, Allison.
So the ones that we are getting currently, it's a 3-pack. From Hasbro.
Yes.
And I'm good with it.
I just want the tank, by the way. I'm not interested in the other 2. I want that tank. But
the thing is, these are all existing Transformers. None of these are actually GoBots, but they are painted up, and they are painted up in color scheme to appear like the GoBots that they are representing. But like this guy here, this is Cosmo, just repainted. This is Warpath, repainted. And I can't remember what this one's name is, like what they actually are. Because again, they're calling them by GoBot names. So you got Pathfinder, Smallfoot, and Treads.
Yeah, I'm sorry, Hasbro, but if you own GoBots, just give us GoBots, please. I don't want
give us some Psykill. Like, come on,
give us Psykill.
Yeah,
And what was the name of the tank character? I always forget, but it's my favorite one from GoBots. Bobby knows. Hey, Bobby!
There he is.
Hey, Bobby.
How you doing?
He blushing? Is he blushing? Yep. He's happy to be back.
I wasn't ready for that. I don't remember the name of the tank guy.
Come on, someone's got to remember it. Somebody in the chat's gonna remember.
You know, I'm looking it up.
You're looking it up. I love that Oz can look stuff up now, and it doesn't choke up his stream. Yeah,
I think he's just called Tank, isn't he?
No, it's like Defender or something like that.
Yeah, he's like a general or something.
It starts with a D. I'm pretty confident. I'm probably wrong. It's called Barbarino.
It is not Barbarino.
Good to see you, Bobby.
Literally just called Tank.
No, he's not. This is not the name for it.
Oh, no. Because there's two different ones. There is a GoBot named Tank that doesn't look a lot like a tank.
Right.
And then there is Destroyer.
I knew it. Cobweb, thank you.
And the Destroyer looks like a German tank.
Destroyer or Defender?
Right. Destroyer, because I'm looking at the box right now.
Okay. All right. Cool. Yeah. So Hasbro, if you're listening, let's just give us some real GoBots, please. That's disappointing.
Yeah.
That one didn't even look like Pathfinder at all.
No.
Pathfinder's UFO.
Yeah.
Right. Well, that's Cosmo. Cosmo is like a UFO transformer. Okay. So like his transformed shape looks like a flying saucer. And as a matter of fact, the one that I said, this weird one I don't recognize, that one's Tank.
Yeah.
He's the one that's named. Well, at least the design looks like him. But again, that was. I just had the names up and I can't think of it anymore. Of course, the Warpath Transformer is Tread. But.
Okay, it's Destroyer. I just found it. Found it. It's Destroyer. Thank you, Cobweb. Thank you, Oz. Like it was going to drive me crazy. But I've always had a huge crush on Destroyer. He actually had real treads, and
like the rubber went around it.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, so I feel like it's blasphemous to put Transformers logos on GoBots. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. That's the thing. They're not even the GoBots like transforming modes. They're
that's Pathfinder right there.
So this guy right here, this is again the Autobot is Cosmo, but yes, this would be like Pathfinder. He's supposed to look like a UFO.
Wow, that looks terrible.
Right? Again, he doesn't look like the GoBot. He looks like the Transformer. He looks like Cosmo. Again, this is Warpath. He looks like the Transformer. He does not look like the GoBot. So they put him in the color schemes. It's still pretty cool to see him do something with the license at least.
Just bring back GoBots.
Yeah, just like exactly as they were. You don't have to like update them.
Thank you. Yes. And now back to Adam's Battle Ram report.
Yes. I'm on eBay right now looking up GoBots. Like, maybe I should buy some GoBots.
I know, right? I do that about once a year. I get on this window shopping journey to look at GoBots, and I never buy any. But yeah, it's good stuff.
Yeah. All right, Starship Eternia. That shows some of the transformations. There's some cool stuff in there. I don't know if I mentioned. I forgot to put in there. There is an elevator too in the. So like the engines on the side that transforms into the center. When it's a play shift, it's a central kind of column, and there's an elevator inside. You can kind of pull it up with string, I believe.
It's definitely got some. It definitely has, again, a little bit of Battlestar Galactica and a little bit of Millennium Falcon going on here, and definitely a little bit of the Death Star playset happening. This is kind of, if I saw this in the store, in a like a secondhand store, I think I'd be really enticed to pick it up.
So Cobb send me the picture of Defendor. So there is a tank named Defendor, and there's also a enemy tank called Destroyer. They're both tanks.
Okay.
Oh, cool. Which one has which one's green?
Both.
Oh, both. Okay. Well,
it's funny because Cobb sent me the picture, and I'm like, yeah, he's right. They got a tank named Defendor. And then I'm like, well, here's the picture that I found with Destroyer.
That's cool. I'm all for it. That's rad.
Huh.
Yeah. So your good guy tank is Defender, and your bad guy tank is Destroyer. How fucking original.
Yeah, and the same toy. The same toy.
Almost. There's slight differences, but
gotta love GoBots.
Back to Eternia here, because this is a cool ship before I get sidetracked again.
Oh, this is beautiful. Look at this photography again. Like, just gorgeous.
Those German magazines. And I shout out to David again. He sent me a couple of these German reproductions of those. So
nice. Yeah.
It's all in German, but it's got the images and it's beautiful. So thank you.
Can
David,
we see those covers there?
Yeah.
Beautiful. Nice. Wow.
I love that.
Yeah.
Gorgeous.
Very cool. David
rules.
He is 100%. Absolutely amazing. He's just one of the most amazing people on the face of the planet.
Yeah, it's true.
So this one's...
I'm looking at GoBots. Somebody stop me.
Yeah. This one's like smaller and less impressive, but it's also like I haven't played with it, but the action feature looks fun. Looks like it'd be really cool.
So it came with the two balls to do the whole Bola attack thing. And honestly, they never really worked quite well, in my opinion. I don't know if maybe it was just, again, my buddy Eric had it, and I don't know if it was his toy. Like the spring kind of launching action did not work well. But to me, this was just like an extension of He-Man's, not the Sky Sled, the Jet Sled, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Like that's how this felt to me. Like it was just another one. It's still a really kind of fun toy to play with, though, even though, like I said, the Bola action did not work as well as I think they'd hoped. At least not on the one that we were playing with.
Folks, we lost Bobby. I think his device got disconnected. Bobby, if you're struggling to get back on, we hope you get back on soon. We didn't get a chance to talk with you. We lost Bobby. I'm sure
David
it was
is putting out an all points bulletin.
Yeah. I'm sure it was like a tech issue or something.
Yeah.
Yeah, this is hilarious, this Bola jet.
Yeah.
I like that they brought back the rubber seatbelt. Like, you're flying through space, and this is what's got you. This rubber band. Yeah.
I mean, but if you look at how on the next page, you can kind of see like there's no way he'd stay on there without it.
No, because the pre-posed action kind of forms.
Yeah,
you could definitely tell what characters were designed more to sit with specific vehicles. Mm-hmm. I mean, like the shuttle pod, it's just like a big open area. You can pretty much fit anybody in there, right? But like this, even the Doom Copter, with the way some of the legs were, like the way the legs weren't split far enough for you to actually put them around it. So there was like maybe two figures that could really sit on it. And that was the way for a lot of the vehicles of that time, again, because like our Masters of the Universe of the 80s, like they had the bands for the legs. So like you can kind of bend and contort them to fit to the vehicle itself. But the these vehicles were definitely less designed with the actual figure models, except for pretty much ones that you see advertised in the picture.
Yeah. Well, one of the things about, because it was a smaller scale, I think that did allow them to do more vehicles. It's kind of like the Star Wars or GI Joe model. If you've got, it's just easier to do vehicles with a smaller scale.
Yeah,
absolutely. Yeah. Play sets, vehicles, and speaking of, one of the most cool play sets ever.
Yeah.
Highly coveted.
Yes. This is one that I want to get someday.
Yeah, me too.
I only know one person with it. I've only known one person with it my whole life, and that is our good friend Thanos.
Yeah.
Nice.
Bobby, do you have one of these? Welcome back, Bobby.
Hey.
Bobby's back.
Bobby.
Bobby, do you have a Nordor?
No. I have a far door, but not a nerd door.
So Nordor, aka Skulldor, in that Doomcopter.
That's right.
Copy.
That's right.
AKA the Galactic Gallstone, which is what the Mattel folks called it.
Yeah.
Ouch.
I hope I don't ever have to pass one of these.
Yes.
No. That kidney stone is not passing through my urethra.
All right, we got Emerald Knight photos here too. Good to see you here.
What's going on, John? Good to see you, brother.
Space rubber is different than Earth rubber. Yeah, I posted that.
True.
Allison's got an awesome sense of humor.
Know?
I know, right, Allison? How do you know?
Look, I've been to space, okay? Space rubber. I've never been to space.
Guess depends on who you use it on.
That just sounds fun.
So the image on the right,
this.
that's a prototype. The one on the left is the actual toy.
I love the sprayed paint.
So good. So good. I could just imagine going in with some green highlights because,
purple and green, baby.
Yeah.
Best color combo.
Yep.
Can't go wrong.
Nope. Oh no. Exactly. Poof. That's what that sounds like.
Yeah.
We get some action shots. Again, on the left is a prototype, and the right is the actual toy.
Bobby, I know you have a lot of the New Adventures figures. Do you have any of the vehicles?
I don't have anything besides the mutant figures. That's all I got for.
Okay, cool.
He handpicked all the best ones.
Yeah,
Mutants.
I don't blame him.
Yeah,
I'm sorry. The heroes of this line were bland.
Other than like Tuscador, I like Tuscador.
Yeah, Tuscador is cool.
Yeah.
But he was supposed to be an evil mutant, and then he got switched over.
Yeah,
oh, really?
Tuscador and Sagittar are the most unique of the heroes. And Sagittar was even supposed to be in the original line, right? Like he was designed for that, and then they just brought him out with these. So it's like that's why those two heroes look cool. One was supposed to be one of the mutants; he was supposed to be a villain, and the other one was supposed to be from the original toy line. And then they're like, "What about these puny dweeby-looking hero dudes?" And it's like there is no way that he's beaten Eyeball Skeletor over here. All right, he's just gonna blink at him real fast.
Yeah. Well, that's it for the Battle Ram report. Thank you, Adam.
Thank you.
Amazing as usual. You really went deep on this one. I mean, you always go deep, but you incorporated a variety because of the themed spaceships.
Yeah, I figure let's pound out all the spaceships, every single one.
Yeah, for sure.
Those are definitely some of the coolest vehicles that they had. Like I said, even if I think the way the Astro Sub connected to the Eternia playset or the Spaceship Eternia playset, I should phrase that there are two different Eternia playsets. Even if I thought that was not, quite as cool as it could have been, like it's still neat. And I do like that the shuttle pod could connect to what was that giant walking vehicle too?
Oh, Turbo Tormentor? No, Terra. What is that?
It was the tall walker one with the 2 legs.
Yeah.
Bobby, do you remember what it was called?
No.
Terrapod.
Yeah, like you could sit it on top of that, which again didn't really serve much of a purpose because like all it did was fill the void that the cockpit already was, but it still looked kind of neat. It looked bigger and heavier. Like you just felt like it was a super version of it.
Yeah, it's kind of a cool feature.
It was neat that they were thinking of the modularity with the vehicles.
Yeah, definitely. I kind of love, I was just listening to the newest episode of Legends of Grayskull podcast, and Curtis Ackerman has been filling in for Sean, and they've been going through the Mike Young Productions 2000X
great episode
show, and they just went over the third episode, which is like the third part of the first 3, the big intro episodes, and Curtis was talking about how he doesn't really see any appeal to New Adventures, and perhaps that would be the case if you're just watching the cartoon. But if you look at these toys, if you look at the New Adventures toys, like the villains, especially as Bobby was saying, like just collecting the mutants, like the mutants are fantastic. They're so weird and so crazy. And I haven't really been convinced as to the quality and interesting aspects of the vehicles until tonight. I mean, I always thought the Doomcopter is cool. And Nordor is obviously cool, but because they both have skulls, it's like anything with a skull is cool to me. But those other vehicles are pretty fantastic too. I mean, the weirdness definitely is still present there in the vehicles. But the cartoon is hard to watch. I agree with you, Curtis. The cartoon is hard to watch.
It does get better though.
It does.
Yeah,
that's true. It gets better as it goes. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
a little less silly and a little bit more serious. Like it's got a better plot line going towards the end.
And the animation, like we were talking about at the beginning today, the animation for the outer space scenes and the spaceships, like really fucking good. Like, I mean, it's amazing. Like those spaceships are the illustrations there. It's like, right up there with Heavy Metal, the movie, very cool animation.
If you watch a lot of Japanese animation from the 70s and early 80s, that's what it mimics a lot from. I love all that stuff.
That was always like my introduction to like anime and stuff, was stuff like that, like Akira or like the old Ghost in the Shell and everything, Vampire Hunter. And there's just something so beautiful about that animation style, and He-Man New Adventures definitely had that.
Yeah,
like it had that look and that feel. Again, like we saw it with like Voltron and stuff like that too. Like they had that, and it's just good, solid animation, good quality.
Yeah, I love Voltron.
Yeah.
Did you see the 5-pack that they got out there, Bobby? The Lions?
5-pack? Oh no.
Oh man,
I have not.
It's pretty cool, and it's vintage style too. It's not
I have the vintage one, but I can't get a new one.
It can't. I mean, it can't really be. You can't really beat the vintage one, anyways.
No,
and
it's heavy as hell, though.
It's heavy. It like if you're not too careful, one of the lions will just fall off because the connections weren't the tightest. But man, was it fun to put together.
Well, that gets us to the next segment. Oz, do you want to go or shall I go?
I was going to ask Kelly, are we going to do the giveaway now, or are you going to wait till the end?
I don't know. Do we want to make people wait? We've already lost half of our viewers.
That's how we keep viewer retention. You got to hang out until the end.
Hang out, folks. We have a giveaway coming up. And remember,
I show up and I just destroyed the show.
It wasn't you.
Guys, Bobby.
I already have it figured out. When Adam finalizes his battle ram report, that's when people are like, okay, I got my fill of all the good stuff. And that's when the viewership starts to drop off.
We got Blake in the house.
All right, good to see you, Blake.
What is going on, Blake? Good to see you, brother.
Yeah, good to have you here. All right. I think maybe going to Oz would be good because Lizor is a good transition to your segment.
Lizor is definitely good. So
it's time to buckle those seatbelts and you better grab a hold of something. They're going to journey through the Awesomeverse.
I love that. Every time Bobby's voice says "buckle your seatbelts," I think he's saying something else, and I love that.
It's the way I talk. I can't help it.
I love it. It's fantastic. It's fantastic.
Thank you. I really appreciate you doing the voiceover for that because it like with the music and everything else, it just really ties it together. The only thing I don't like is how grainy that video turned out. I have no idea how the drop in you sent me the audio. I remade it myself,
it's artistic. Just it's
very artistic. It's artistically pixelated for our enjoyment.
It's art film. It's art film.
All right. So this weekend we had the Maryland Toy Expo here at Timonium, and this one was definitely a special one for me. Not only was I getting to go see Jesse was there for Wolf King Customs.
Oh, cool. Yeah.
Yeah, he was running around with Len representing the Four Horsemen here. So it's really cool. They actually, Four Horsemen, they were present as a dealer at the Maryland Toy Expo. But not only were they there, we also had Savage Crucible here. So I've been looking at these toys since that Kickstarter, and I just loved that they had these amazing reptilian figures, the Lemurians. They've got those fishy dudes that are going to be coming out soon. They've got some barbarians and stuff like that, but I get barbarians in all kinds of lines, right? But you know what I don't have enough of? Lizard men.
Yeah, that's cool.
So this guy right here, this is called their Slate Shadow Scale figure. So he's got less paint detail than their normal figures. If you go look at any of their figures, the paint details are amazing. The paint masters were done by Nikki Nicole Customs, she's a big customizer in the Mythic Legions realm. Now she's done paint masters for Savage Crucible as well. She's actually helping out with those Galactic Valor figures that just had their Kickstarter recently. And I gotta tell you, I dig some of the articulation's a little stiff on these guys, but he's got that nice articulating jaw.
Yeah, that's cool.
Nice and wide like a lizard. There is so much texture over every inch of this figure.
Yeah, he's kind of amazing.
And again, this is less paint detail. Doesn't come with a whole lot of armor. Comes with 2 swords. The figures come with these really cool cards. Now, this is not the character that I have. This is a completely different character. This is one of the villains, Nin Villamar. And then, it gives, D&D stats for him. But it's this really sweet holo card. So, this guy was... He was $20. It's $19 for this figure, which when you're talking about a 6-inch collector figure, $20 is a really good price these days. Kind of like our base level Masterverse figures. You can see the different sculpt detail that goes into this is crazy. And again, there's not a lot of paint detail on this one. And that's part of why he's so much cheaper. Also, the fact it doesn't come with the armor. But you can buy armor and accessory packs and head packs to go with it. Then you're basically paying as much as a full priced figure. But if you guys ever get a chance, well, as a matter of fact, these guys go on sale tomorrow. You can actually order them from Savage Crucible tomorrow. $19, limit 5 per person.
$19 is a really good price.
Yeah, definitely. So $19 for this guy though. And yeah, you can order them tomorrow. Sales start on June 14th.
Cool.
So if you're interested, you want a couple of lizard men, this is a good cheap one. He'll look great next to your Marvel Legends Spider-Man, as opposed to trying to buy that Build-A-Figure. Yes, Nikki also did the reindeer for the Naughty and Nice figs, which I need to pick up some of those reindeer to go with my Father Christmas. Still trying to get the Alder Moose too. But like, that is a phenomenal figure. I had a blast with Connor this weekend. You know, like, you go to this toy show, and yes, I'm going and looking for a lot of my stuff, and I'm getting Mythic Legions figures. You know, I got the Vampire Phalanx.
All right, let's see him up close again. Yeah, he looks good.
Yeah. It's the same head as Operative, except not the green paint. That was the first release of this head, was on that Operative figure that you guys got.
He looks good.
Got him, and I got toys all over the place over here. One of my all-time favorites in the line. This is Thrace Wraith Taylor. Can't remember.
Nice.
But great soft goods, purple cape, definitely got some Evelyn vibes going on. Especially the spell effects that come for her. So, like, if I get it here, you've got this serpent spell effect that can go around her staff.
That's awesome. Love that.
And then she's got kind of like this projection skull spell effect.
Very cool.
Yeah, these are really awesome. And then one of my all-time favorite that they just showed off here is the Silverhorn Sentry. Look at those hooves.
Look at those hooves.
Right? And just, again, all around absolutely amazing figure here. Jesse, Sean, you guys have ruined me by getting me into Mythic Legions, but I love you the most. You know, it's been so long since we've been here, I forgot. Also got Anubis.
Hey, nice.
I did get their new figure obscura, Anubis and Bastet.
Looks like Otis.
Yes. Yes.
It's awesome.
These freaking amazing things. Like, that's what's going around the Awesomeverse right now. Just some really epic 6-inch figure lines. Can't get enough of it. I have no idea where I'm going to eventually place all these things.
Right behind you on a shelf that we get to look at every time you go live.
I got to get them cleared off so I can actually put figures on them. I boxed up a bunch of stuff, but still got too much to go.
Yeah. Well, your collection's growing and it's beautiful. I'd like to see Four Horsemen do. I know that they did some designs for classics of New Adventures, Space Mutants, but I'd love to see them do like without having to answer to Mattel, like just make some really brutal, cool, detailed versions of the Space Mutants from New Adventures.
Just keep your eye on Cosmic Legions.
I know.
I mean, we've already got what's his name? Joe, what's the big beefy boy? That ginormous figure.
I love that guy, Slog or something like that.
Yeah,
right?
Yeah.
He's beautiful.
He's the flush head tribute.
Yeah.
My God, he's fantastic. Not a lot of articulation on that one.
No need.
He's just such a big. He could kill somebody if he fell on him. Like, and it's just a toy. I'm not talking like if it were a real version of him falling on somebody. Just him falling on somebody as a toy could kill somebody. Yeah, Joe said it. Yes.
Slog. Yeah. I've got a huge toy crush on that action figure.
So
beautiful.
I got these really cool action figures, right? So we get in there, and after we visit that after we visited the Mythic Legion table, we were walking around a little bit, and Connor and I, we're looking at the different tables, come across this one table, and they've got a Captain America Winter Soldier replica shield from that movie. So it's got the blue lines instead of the red. And Connor's just like, Daddy, that's what I want. Like, really? We've been here for like 5 minutes. You haven't even spent time to walk around this whole place. There are toys from wall to wall here, and we go 2 tables down, and you see what you want already. You sure you do not want to look at something else? Like there's no, you want the shield? And he was like, yes, I want the shield. He goes, what 9-year-old would not want that shield? I'm like, all right, buddy, all right. We end up getting a good deal because there's a hole in the box, but I know Connor doesn't care because that box is going to go in the trash.
Yeah.
So he got a Captain America replica shield, and I think now he's going to be Captain America for Halloween just so he can walk around and show off his shield to everybody.
Cool. Yeah, that's amazing. I love
then
that.
Later he found other stuff that he wanted, and I was like, sorry, buddy, you had to get the shield.
Meanwhile, Dad has got this one and this one and this one.
You know, he had a limit when he came in.
Of course.
If I you know, I kind of knew what I was looking for and still bought more than I didn't expect.
Dad is the one that's bringing home the bacon, so.
Trying to. You know, you said I did have a little extra after getting the laptop. You know, I didn't plan to have any funds. I wasn't even going to go, but when I was able to get this beforehand and save money, because I didn't have to spend nearly as much as I thought I was going to. I thought I was going to have to buy like a whole new desktop. And you guys know, even like parting those out, they can be out. If you're building a decent one, it can be expensive.
Yeah.
And I just thought it was going to be really, really expensive to kind of get everything. And Aaron came through, like he was just shopping and he saw one at a really good price. And I was like, I'm taking it.
Cool. Yeah, you got some good stuff, man. That what was the name of the lizard figure again?
That is the Shadow Scale.
Scale.
Yeah, it's one of their slate figures, which means it's like bare bones. So that way you just kind of get it for your cheapest price. Again, you can buy like they've got accessory packs that can go with it. And, you know, that way, like it'll come with like a couple of different heads that you can swap on it, as well as being able to just, again, they're very flat with the paint on those. So you don't
need much. The scales really give it a lot of depth and texture.
Well, could you imagine like dry brushing a lighter color over top of those scales to really make them pop?
Yeah.
I saw Blake had said that he actually got this guy when he was shopping. You know, that was the only thing. I took this out of the package. It was completely flat, sealed in the foil. And the moment it came out of the package, it curled. I don't know if maybe it's just because of the humidity around here. Or
that's exactly what it is.
You know, like I said, it's been crazy humid.
How's weather over where you are, Bobby?
It's hot.
Yeah, it sure is. It sure is, man. If it's hot here, I know it's hot where you are.
Yeah,
it's got to be.
Damn.
I remember
ridiculous.
When I was out that way, like it was like 110 degrees the last time I was there. I'm like walking around outside, and I'm like, you know what though? Like this 110 degrees feels like an 80 degree day back in Baltimore because the humidity. At least like if you walk into the shade, there's relief because you don't have that oppressive stickiness.
Yep.
Guys, do not come to the East Coast during summertime. It's not worth it.
I had to stay in New York for a whole month.
Yeah.
In 1999, I was in July. I was in New York for a whole month because I had to work there, and it was in the 90s and it was humid as hell.
Yeah,
and I was out there when JFK Jr. died when he crashed his airplane.
Yeah,
man.
But man, it was steamy, and I know like Adam, you know, he's back from where I'm from.
Well, yeah, Bobby, being in Chicago,
90s, man, and humidity, it'll kill you.
It's a whole nother level of heat. Like
I'll take 110 and dry over the 90s and sweating ass.
Totally. Like I said, like, you know, when it's 110 and it's dry, you can go in the shade and there's a noticeable difference. Mm-hmm. You got that humidity though, no matter where you go, you're not safe.
Right. Even when you go inside in the air conditioning, you still feel the humidity.
Yeah, it's stuck to you. Yeah. Like you just can't shake it.
Get out of a shower and you feel it. You start sweating after taking
a shower. You don't even get dry. You don't even get dry.
No.
Yeah, I've been through it too. I prefer the dry heat, but I do kind of see. I can see how too much of one thing is too much of one thing. So it's whenever I go visit a place that's humid in the summer, it's kind of actually the novelty is there for me, and then it wears off quickly. I come back here and I'm excited about the dry heat, and then that wears off quickly. So yeah, it's always bad. Just the heat gets bad.
Well, I'm on my way, David. I'm on my way, buddy. I need to cool down. And the funny part is it's actually been like a relatively cool summer so far out here. The humidity has not been bad. Like today was like the first day. Most mornings when I would go outside, it'd be hot, but it's not like hot. It's kind of cool, like 70-degree temperature, no humidity. It actually feels kind of nice. I prefer it a little cooler in the 60s, but then this morning I woke up and I went out back and like I opened up the door and I could just feel it immediately. And I was like, oh, it's one of those days. Like actual summer is here now. This is awful.
Well, Oz, your segment was awesome. Bobby, do you want to do a segment tonight? I know you popped in a little late. Were you thinking about?
I didn't really have anything planned, but I can. Since you're talking ships, I'll talk real quick, I guess.
All right, let's talk some ships.
Let's do it.
Let's talk ship.
He's always talking ships.
Yeah,
you got talking some ships.
ships. There you go.
I love that. Done.
Just put it out there for you. He's talking ships.
That's right. Anyway, so my favorite ship of all time. Don't put. Oh, I thought you were putting me up. I saw the thing move. I thought you were putting me up like close up. Don't do.
I didn't do that, Bobby.
That was me.
I'm not going to speak. I'll just sit here. But anyway,
pretty.
Close Encounters of the Third Kind.
Oh yeah,
is my favorite.
Nice.
One of my top. I would say it's top 3 movies of all time.
Yeah,
the mothership in that is you can't beat it.
Yeah,
when it comes up from behind Devil's Tower and
unbelievable
that rumble, and it's just such a beautiful sight. You can't beat that ship in any film. I don't think.
Some of the best effects in cinema today done with that.
Because it's 3-dimensional. It was hand built, and all those lights and all those little spires and all the all the things, and you just you feel like you could reach out and touch it. Like that's special effects, folks.
The anticipation of it too. Was, it was awesome.
That the build to that moment, and then you see what you see. It's remarkable.
But also there's a couple of not smaller movies, but Earth versus Flying Saucers. I don't know if you've ever seen that one.
Oh yeah, love it.
Flying Saucers, those are special to me. And War of the Worlds, the original 1954 movie. Those ships
movie
as well.
The eyeball thing on the end of the big. I mean, it's like an antenna, and that I don't know. It must have just been. Well, I've watched that movie like a dozen times, and it still kind of scares me. I mean, it's
a fright. I read the book, and I'll tell you, the original book, War of the Worlds, is actually kind of I don't think it's a sci-fi movie or a book. I think it's more of a horror book.
It is. It's scary.
I mean, it's also set back in the 1800s. Like it's like modern times back then when it was written. But the people didn't have like all those special weapons and things, so they actually had it worse off than what they had like in the 50s movies. With the tanks.
Yeah.
So the people were a little bit more not well protected.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. But I just wanted to mention a couple of those since it was a spaceship thing, and also wanted to say that I'm going to be cutting back a little bit on this show, so I just wanted to let all the fans know I appreciate everything that I've been on here for a while, and it's been 1 year and 8 months I think since I've been on.
Yeah. We love having you, and but also understand. I mean, you're part of the reason why we've all cut back is because we've all got stuff going on, and well, I guess we could save it for our shameless promotion time. But
yeah,
I mean, you've been busy in very good ways. So I totally understand, and it makes sense to me.
Yeah.
You're doing good stuff. Spielberg's dad was a computer scientist. His mom was a musician. The humans used computers to make music to communicate with the aliens and Close Encounters. That represented his mom and dad. So that's amazing, Blake. Thank you for sharing that. I didn't know that. That's very cool.
No idea.
Yeah, I saw the reissue of the movie back in it was 1980, I think, when they added more special effects to it and stuff. I saw that at the drive-in.
Yeah,
sitting in the back seat of my dad's
nice
station wagon. Me and my brother and sister.
That's cool.
Nothing quite like that drive-in experience in the summertime, man. A lot of fun just to go watch a movie like that.
I think it was the drive-ins that were over the border in Indiana there. Like I think it was Whiting, Indiana. It was big. I remember we driving by those, and they were real big blue. The back of them were big and blue. But, I doubt it's there anymore.
There's not a lot left.
No.
Another film spaceship that is cool is the Nostromo from Alien.
Yeah.
Yes.
I mean, it's nothing. I mean, it's a spectacular spaceship build. It is, but for me, the name is like it's unbeatable.
Right.
Nostromo. I mean, it just from the moment I saw that movie as a kid, it just that the name of that spaceship just does something for me.
Well, you also got to go with the never-ending spaceship from Spaceballs that get transformed.
Fuck yeah,
classic.
The best. The best.
We wait for nobody or something that says like a bumper sticker.
We break for nobody. Yeah. Yeah. Classic.
I gotta say, piggybacking on the Nostromo too, what I loved about that, up until really yes, even watching Star Wars, right? Like watching a lot of sci-fi back in the day, everything was like so clean, right? Like all space stuff's all very clean, very neat. And I get it, because a lot like some of the space stuff we see today from NASA, everything's got to be very clean and stuff like that, because they got to be able to get to everything in case one little thing goes wrong. So I get that. But like the Nostromo, like that ship, like you had like these clean, more like sci-fi-esque looking areas. But then, like, you'd get to the bowels of the ship, too, where it wasn't so clean and so nice.
Industrial.
Very industrial. And, like, it had, like, the little tight, claustrophobic, like, maintenance tunnels, as well as, like, the larger, more open space that, like, is just so neat to see all that difference. Because, like, you watch Star Trek and everything's, like, kind of very neat, kind of clean, and again, 1960s, the aesthetic carried through Next Generation and continued on from there. Even in like 2001 Space Odyssey, right? Like everything's kind of like clean, crisp. Yeah. So I really, really do enjoy like that less clean, that more
the lived in quality of those spaceships, and that really with Alien and with Star Wars that started to become. Let's make these places look like they've been around for a while.
Yeah,
not right off the shop floor, and you're flying it into space. Yeah.
Well, what else made a difference to me too with the Nostromo was like in Star Wars, like everything still kind of looked like Alien, right? Like it was very different from the way things would look here. The Nostromo looks like something that was built out in Texas and launched into space.
Yeah, totally.
Totally. It should.
Yeah. As it should.
I really dig that.
Thunder Road from the Explorers. Yes, absolutely.
Explorers are another good one.
Spaceship pieced together by kids. I mean, how cool is that? Right. I love that. And Event Horizon. That's right, Duchess.
Horizon.
Yeah, very cool. Terrifying.
And speaking of Alien, did you ever see It, the Terror from Beyond Space, the 1950s movie?
I don't think. Oh,
when I was
no,
very
I don't think I
young.
saw that. I don't think I
No.
saw that one.
Okay, because that's what they kind of like got based a little bit of Alien
Oh,
from. It's got a
interesting.
monster in the spaceship, and they're going trying to get it, and it's cool. It's
I'm
got a
gonna
guy
have
in
to
a
watch
big
that
rubber
one.
suit, but I mean, it's awesome. It's a good.
Oh, yeah,
it's
I
one
love
of,
that.
It's one of the better ones
Yeah,
of the '50s films. Yeah,
I love that. Yes, definitely. It looks like a Gothic cathedral, the Event Horizon, for sure. Yeah, Bobby, I'm
Anybody
gonna have
else-
to watch that movie. I'm gonna have to
it's
watch
good.
that.
Anybody else watch Red Dwarf? Because this show is
I
hysterical.
used to watch that.
Oh,
No.
I've only heard of it. I've never watched it, and I know it's something I got to do.
If you love dry British humor and then you're putting it in space, and again, it's a very down to earth looking spaceship. Ship is a bucket of bolts.
Yeah,
But that's a fun show. I really enjoy that show.
yeah, that's cool.
What about unique spaceships? Like ones that kind of like stand out on their own. One of my favorite sci-fi spaceships of all time comes from Farscape. It was literally just called Ship, but it was a living ship.
Oh, you know what? I never watched that.
Oh, that's a good one. Especially if you like Jim Henson's kind of like monster effects and stuff
Yeah,
like
I
that,
love
because
that,
he's the one
yeah.
that did that. Outstanding show, really good story. Very Marlena to Earth kind of things. Definitely check it out if you get a chance. But the ship they're flying around in space on it's alive. It's a
I love
creature.
That.
Yeah,
That's great. That's brilliant. That's kind of like the space shit. Adam, you might know this. Oz, you might know it too. Maybe Bobby might know it too. But like, what's the name of Flog's spaceship in New Adventures?
Oh shoot, what is that?
But that kind of looks like a living spaceship. It looks like it's
yes,
organic almost.
very organic. The
Yeah.
design of it.
I don't remember. I don't know.
I can't remember either.
Now.
We were just watching that too. Well, that kind of I'm gonna transition to my little segment because the whole bucket of bolts thing is a good transition.
I looked it up. It's the Mutant Mothership, by the way.
The Mutant Mothership.
Mothership.
That's why we couldn't remember because that's a bland name.
You're right.
So
like it
bland.
doesn't
Might as well have
stand
been
out
called.
in your head.
Might as well have been just called Chip. Well, okay, so today's Weekly Weirdo, I really was stumped because, and we've had a lot of time, and what we came up with the theme spaceships like about a week after our last episode, so it's been about a month. Yeah. But I was really stumped, so I decided to do a different approach to this and talk about something that is a grail piece for me now. And it's no surprise because I've talked about it before, but the Millennium Falcon is to me one of the most spectacular play sets that exists, right up there with the original Castle Grayskull. There's just a lot of magic in this play set, and for me, whenever I see one, and they're usually priced around $300 if it's in any good shape. It's ridiculous lately. And I always think of all the ones that I saw when I was in high school that I never picked up for like $5. But it is a spectacular spacecraft, and it doesn't make a lot of sense in its design. Like, it looks super awkward. It's asymmetrical, even though it's partially symmetrical. It's got that big wonky, cockpit off to the side, which doesn't make any sense. And I loved in the original Star Wars film, the little hidey places where they go up and they hide underneath the panels, and that this toy had that, and you could use that. It had the little training ball droid thing that could hang down off of that stick on the string. And I was always fascinated by the little the gunner seat in the center, and how that appeared in the film, how Luke is upside down technically and Han is right side up, and they're both on different sides of the spaceship, and how that was partially included. You can even have the figures sitting upside down in the gunner seat. It always bothered me that the figures couldn't walk into the cockpit from the main space. But I think this is a masterful toy, and one of these days I'm going to get my hands on one, and it's going to make my wife wonder still what's wrong with me. But it's just a beautiful thing. And for any of you out there that do own this, like, make sure you take care of it, because this is one of the greatest play sets ever created, and it made sound too.
Yep.
Yes.
I mean, how cool.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's
one. Yeah.
You had one too. I had one too, and it was like, I think
90s version of it.
Yeah, the 90s version was basically the same mold,
I
think. Yeah.
It was same exact mold, same features. It was just different paint apps.
Yeah.
So if you can find a Power of the Force one, it may be cheaper, Skelly, but it's the same thing.
Yeah, I there's something about the quality of the vintage one that just does something for me. And yeah, one of these days. And not only the Millennium Falcon, but the TIE Fighter, and then Darth Vader's TIE Fighter, and the X-Wing fighter up there too. I was like super fascinated by those as a kid. I didn't have those, but like, I just love the designs of the Star Wars spaceships, and how
Star Wars does have the best ones, I think.
Yeah, and just, I mean, I could watch and rewatch and rewatch and rewatch the documentaries on Industrial Light and Magic and the special effects and how they came up with all this stuff, and it's just super fascinating to me. And when the family and I, post-pandemic, finally made it over to Galaxy's Edge at Disneyland, I swear I got teary-eyed. I mean, who gets teary-eyed looking at a thing at a theme park? But I was seeing the Millennium Falcon in real life, like, really did something to me in a major way. It was such an amazing feeling. I mean, Bobby, you've seen it. It's like, it's epic.
Yeah, it is. It's cool to see it.
Yeah,
definitely cool to see it.
And then to walk inside of it too is pretty cool.
Yes. Yeah. And get in the cockpit and to see you get to go in there and you sit next to the table that they're playing the chess thing.
Oh, so cool. Nice. So cool. I actually held one of these yesterday when I saw Alan at the TNT Collectibles show in Fresno. They had one there that was $300 in really good shape. I held it, I hugged it, and then I put it back on the shelf.
Yeah, vintage Star Wars for some reason has really gone like super expensive. I don't know why.
Again, right?
I don't know why though. But...
Well, because it was high for a long time, and then it came down, and then it kind of went back up, and then it dropped down. And now the vintage, right? Because there's almost levels of vintage now.
Yeah, no, I'm talking the original line.
Yeah, the original line. It's starting to go back up in price again. I think part of that could just be the popularity of the reaction stuff.
Maybe. Yeah. I mean, part of me really wants to just put my reaction Beastman and my reaction Skeletor in the cockpit of the Millennium Falcon finally. Like, that's something I would have loved to have been able to do as a kid with my Masters and my Star Wars, I played with them together anyways, despite the size differences. And it would just be really cool to have this someday and just, there's your Boba Fett.
I just remember my cockpit would be the cap, the cover would always pop off. It would never sit on there right.
Never stayed on.
It never stayed on. Even with the even with the 90s reissue of it. Same. They never fixed that problem.
Nope. Never bothered to. Never did anything, to fix that issue. It definitely always just kind of slid out.
Yep.
It's definitely another one of my favorite toys. He's always on my desk with me. It's not the original vintage Boba Fett. Yeah. It's the more recent vintage collection Boba Fett painted.
Yeah, I saw that in the store and I was like, yeah, I love that color scheme. Love that color scheme.
Also wanted to get, they just released last year. They did a Dark Horse Comics Boba Fett.
Yeah, I saw that. Yeah.
The Marvel colored Boba Fett.
Yeah.
Same exact figure, nothing different, just the different paint apps to look like the comics. And I want to build like my own little army of Mandos that are actually just Boba Fett in different colors.
Yeah. HP Brown Sauce Craft, who sometimes comes on here, he sent me a picture of the droids, paints.
Yep.
The droids paint scheme Boba Fett, and that's just like, that's probably, aside from the vintage toy color scheme, the droids color scheme is probably
where he's more light tan, kind of bluish white,
pastel,
based off of his look in the Christmas special too.
The Christmas special, yeah, for sure. Anyways, I had to share that. Love it.
I know in the beginning of the show, you guys were talking about the that special you were watching, with the Industrial Light and Magic with the job and all. I believe the clarinet player from the band is called Droopy McCool.
That is Droopy McCool.
That's
right.
See, that's why he said Joe McCool. He was McCool.
I said Joe McCool, and I'm like, no, that's not right. And I'm like,
you're thinking
because I'm thinking of Snoopy. Joe.
It is. It's Droopy McCool. That is so.
That's definitely his name.
And I swear, on my life, I didn't look it up on Google. I just remember.
I believe you.
No, you're 100% right. Because now that you've said it, it's like, yep. Because I even remember like some of the posters, like in the expanded universe stuff, like in comics, would have like Droopy McCool. And it would be a picture of just him outside of the Max Rebo band getting like a solo at a concert in one of the Goofy concerts.
I love Droopy McCool. I love that 3-pack.
The original 3.
Yeah. Oh, it's so good. And you could push the little keys on
Max Rebo.
Max Rebo's keyboard,
Yeah,
it was funny.
Yeah,
like
very cool.
He was originally never supposed, like, how the toy came out and he's got legs and feet.
Yeah.
He wasn't supposed to have those.
Oh no! Here's what's crazy. Well, you guys probably know this, but his arms were his legs.
Yeah. Like those were supposed to be his legs. Like he was supposed to be like this weird. Like that's why he had the specialized keyboard.
Yeah.
And like what
really,
we thought
I never knew that. Then how did he do this? Like he's like swinging with the music.
That's because they just decided we'll put human arms in there.
Yeah.
But those are supposed to be his legs according to the original design.
So he has no arms then.
And
no.
Then the toy came out and they were like, well, crap.
his ears were his arms. I don't know.
Well, yeah.
No, but I love those characters. I'm waiting for. I mean, actually, I think because those are super expensive on the secondary market as well.
Yeah.
Even if they're outside of the package, they're super expensive. I'm waiting for Hasbro to do. They've been doing these retro reissues. Like that's how I got my Yoda. My Yoda looks basically exactly like the vintage Yoda. And I think it's just a matter of time before they do that. Anywho, let's do this. You did. He's doing it. I was going to say you all didn't see Bobby do this. I love it. I love that so much. Thank you, Bobby, again.
The whole time I'm just sitting here dancing with it. And Bobby's like, God, what idiot made this thing?
I love it. I love it.
It's the best. Skelly, you get the whole band right now for $115 on Whatnot.
Is that all?
Only $115. Droopy McCool, Max Rebo, and Sice Noodles.
Complete?
No, Droopy does not have his clarinet, but it's $115 for the original vintage figures.
Yeah. Well,
Do they have the microphone stands?
Yeah, the microphone stand?
No, it's just the figures. Max Rebo does have his keyboard, but that's about it.
That's cool.
Yeah, I just thought I'd look up real quick because I know that, again, the Power of the Force ones, sometimes you can find those a little bit cheaper.
Yeah.
As a matter of fact, right now on Whatnot, you can get Droopy McCool. This is, again, Power of the Force version. You get Droopy McCool and Barquin Don, which was the Biff band member that they added for the special edition.
Yeah.
You can get that 2-pack for $30. So you can get Droopy McCool for like $30.
I like Droopy McCool. Yeah.
He's worth $30 by himself.
I'm gonna hold off until the vintage ones become available somehow to me. I mean, I just got a Gamorrean Guard, vintage Gamorrean Guard, and I got him for like $4. I mean, it's still $4 shipping, but like, what a deal on eBay. So you got to be patient, folks.
I actually remember buying a Gamorrean Guard back in the day at Toys R Us.
Yeah, man.
In the 80s.
It was Gamorrean Guard was like, I was obsessed. And so getting that brand new in the package, opening it up, Gamorrean Guard was great.
Yeah, because I went to the Toys R Us. It was on 80. It was in South Chicago. That's the name of the neighborhood.
Yeah,
it was 80-something street. I don't remember. It might have been 87th. I can't remember where the Toys R Us was.
Yeah.
Right.
Return of the Jedi. I was just talking to Alan about this yesterday. Return of the Jedi, kind of, the storyline in Empire Strikes Back is spectacular.
Yes.
I mean, as a movie, it's amazing. But the creatures in Return of the Jedi, there's nothing like that.
Right.
Like, I have two different levels of appreciation.
Mm-hmm.
Even the Ewok, I just love it all. I love everything about that.
I do have a sealed
version.
I do have a sealed Klaatu and card.
Klaatu Barada Nikto.
My local vintage store has a Rancor that I've been eyeing, even though I'm not going to buy it just because I can't. If I collect anything other than Masters, it gets out of control. But it's tempting.
I was going to collect Origins.
My wife got me that, and she was like, "Really, you want that? The Rancor?"
Oh, nice.
And
that vintage Rancor.
And it was fairly reasonable compared to what the prices usually are for that.
I ended up getting the Force Unleashed version, which is so cool because it's got like the real textured skin.
Yeah,
and
you can bend the fingers, right?
Yeah.
Well,
especially on that version because that came out years after the Rancor that was released with Power of the Force, which did texture too.
Yeah.
And it dwarfs the vintage one. Like the vintage one was a really good size. Then the 90s one was larger, like slightly larger because they were doing like, again, the figures themselves were larger than the vintage. And then like this one came out and it's even bigger than the Power of the Force one. Yeah. And I was like, oh, look, if you get all three, you got like the mommy, the daddy, and the little baby. And like they just look like this cute little Rancor family together. At one point, I did have all three.
I have seen other collectors position their Rancors to be like different size,
like the family,
different members of the family. Yeah, that's cool. Welcome, Eternian Royalty. Great to have you here.
Good to see you, brother.
All right, so here we go. Let's do this again. All right, time for shameless promotion time. Oh man,
see, nobody can see it. Bobby and I are flipping each other off. I was doing the eye scratch one.
Love it. See, come on, guys. This is a blast.
The backstage fun.
Well, guys, what you got coming up? Anything exciting?
Yeah.
Bobby, come on, you got the long list.
Bobby's got like he's got like a
Oh,
list
man.
of like 20 videos ready to go.
I don't know if you heard me before you came on, Bobby. I issued you an apology. I am having a really hard time keeping up with your stuff. Like,
oh, I'm sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Like, this is the best. This is the best.
Well, where are you? I mean, how far back are you?
Really far back.
Okay.
Like, I'm really far back. So I just got to tell you, though, I wouldn't have it any other way. This is the golden era of Decker Northcutt and all the branches of the stories. Like, it's so good to see you doing what you're doing. It makes me so happy. And I know it's just a matter of time before people really start to catch on, because
I hope so. Yeah.
I mean, it's amazing. And when people do catch on, they're going to have a lot to catch up on, and that's a wonderful place to be.
That's what I'm hoping. It's growing slow. I do have dedicated fans I know,
Yeah.
But the channel's growing real slow.
I try to comment, get that engagement.
The views are slow or are okay, but I just got to get that right audience. That's why I rebranded all my thumbnails and stuff.
Yeah.
So it's more uniform, more noir looking. It looks better. It's more eye-catching. So
it looks cleaner.
Yeah.
And like it, you just feel like this little air of mystery about it too. I don't know. I like there's, I talked with Damon about it before too, because he would do like a lot of the black and white photography. I just love that noir-esque look, that black and white total list. So
yeah, that's what I'm hoping that helps to catch the people's eyes that are really looking for something like that. I was telling a mess.
I just real quick. Real quick, this is a good thing, and this relates to you, Bobby. My youngest just got her driver's license, which means that she's going to start using my old truck and to drive when she needs to drive, which means I get to borrow my wife's car more frequently, and my wife's car has the Wi-Fi connection to the phone, which means I'm going to be able to start listening to you when I'm driving rather than putting one of these in my ear. I'm just like really excited about it. A new era begins.
Well, I do have the whole playlist, a complete storyline on YouTube Music.
That's smart. That's smart.
So this way you can listen to from the very beginning all the way through. I have all the universe stories intertwined with it where they're supposed to be,
so that's great.
So you'll catch like all the stuff that's happened in the main series, and then when the universe story comes, you'll say, "Oh yeah, that's what he said in the last episode where this starts."
That's brilliant. I'm so glad you did that. That's awesome.
So I got all that there, and I'm on case number 3, the second episode. I'm just going to do it on Wednesdays now. I changed again. I apologize, but I'm trying to catch a different audience, so I'm going after Duchess's episodes on Wednesdays.
That's smart.
She'll be on 6. I'll start on 7 o'clock, my PST time.
Yeah.
But the new case is good. It's I have it all written except for the 2 last episodes. I still got to finish those, but it's a different feel than the first 2. The first one was, big. Second one was really dark and kind of scarier. This one's more bank robberish, noir.
Yeah.
The villain guy's a jackass. You'll feel that when it's cool.
He's that very like pompous, goading.
Yeah.
Like I'm doing it. Now prove it and do something about it.
Right.
Like
just when I wrote it, I was smiling when I'm writing him.
Oh, that's good.
He's my favorite character I ever came up with, and it's just he's cool.
Yeah, that's awesome.
Yeah, so
I love it.
They're new guys in town type of thing.
Keep at it, my friend. I can tell it's making you happy. That's more important than anything.
Yeah.
More important than how many people are watching you or tuning in.
I know. I'll tell you, I fell down that rabbit hole checking out all my numbers and views and subs are growing slow and all that. And it gets like, I want people to hear it. I don't care about, the gratification to me. I just want people to enjoy it and like it,
Okay. The conversation, I've never gone on and really talked about this in our frenzied chat and our toy network chat and all that stuff. But I want to remind folks, like, I started my YouTube channel. It took me 3 years to get to 500. Oh. If I had been looking at my numbers during those 3 years, I would have quit. I'm not bragging. I made a rule to not give a fuck, because it's got to come from a place of joy. And Bobby, I can tell this is giving you a lot of joy. And really, when you get to the 500, or you get to the 800, or you get to the 600, or you get to the 200, it is such a wonderful feeling, and you don't want to have that wonderful feeling ruined by, oh, I wish it was 1,000, or oh, I wish it was 2,000.
No, I'm being honest with myself, and good. That, I know that, but I want people to hear it. That's all.
And I want people to hear it too, because it's good stuff. Just like I want everyone to be watching Adam's videos, his new videos, which are fantastic, and I want everyone to be
500 subscribers.
Yeah, and Oz has something major coming up here, and I want everybody to be like engaging in all this stuff. So, like, it's true, but I do want to mention to all the people that are starting out with YouTube or have been struggling with YouTube and have been letting the algorithms get them down, or just listen to me on this, folks. Don't do it for that, please. Like, I beg of you, do it for you. Have fun with this and love it. It's not to be. We aren't in this to be famous or to make money. We're in this to share our joy with others. And if people catch on, that's cool. If people don't catch on, that's perfectly fine. Like, I started my channel because my daughters were like, you got to put your Castle Grayskull on YouTube. And I just kept doing it and started talking about toys, and I met with Oz, and that's really, it's got to come from a place of joy. And it can be torturous, Bobby, just like you said. You go down that rabbit hole and it's hard to get out. It is
you start watching those stupid videos of how can you get your channel to grow? How do you do this? How do you do that? And then I start watching more and more, and I'm like, oh, I can't fucking do this anymore. I'm just making myself sick.
Exactly. And then you get the negative comments. The negative comments really took me down. Yeah. I was like, oh, heartbroken, the first negative comment I got. And then I realized that person just doesn't have anything better to do.
Right. Yeah. I don't care about the bad comments or nothing like that. That's not going to bother me.
That bothers me.
I will always say about the negative comments, just simple response.
Or no response.
No, respond.
Yeah, you respond.
Thank you for the engagement. You're helping me in the algorithm. So no matter what they're doing, whether they're trolling you, whether it's, for some god-awful reason they just wanted to be negative and be vocal about it and tell you, just look at it and go, thank you for the engagement. It helps boost in the algorithm.
Thank you for watching.
Negative, positive, doesn't matter. It's engagement. Even if, and I don't know if you guys get them. For a while there, I was constantly getting a single dislike every live stream I was doing. And I'm pretty sure I know who was doing it. But I was getting that.
I have no idea. What are you talking about?
But all I can say is just, dislikes don't work how they used to way back in the days. Yeah. It literally is just, thank you for helping with the engagement, because every react, every comment, all of it, it just helps the algorithm.
Well, I did a poll on my channel a while back, a few months back, And it was, and I asked, I go, do you think, I asked about the series. I said, do you think the series, I forgot the exact answers, but I had 3 or 4 answers up there to select from. I was like, is the story's good? The execution's good? The stories and the execution is good? Or the execution is good, but the stories are bad? Something like that. And someone selected the execution is good and the stories are bad. But that didn't bother me at all.
Good. I'm glad it didn't bother you because what do they know? What do they know?
No, I know, but I mean, they might not like that style of a story.
Yeah.
You know, they're probably looking at it. Maybe they're looking for more of a horror story or something else. I have no idea.
Yeah, that's exactly it.
But
maybe they're looking for more of a noir detective without the supernatural elements. Could be what they're looking like. There's so many ways to take that.
Yeah.
But you know, again, just not everything is for everybody. However,
that's what I mean. You're never going to please everyone.
There are people like me who I'm just always waiting for the next episode to come out.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah.
And like, you got me trained on Fridays now. I go to lunch and I'm like, ooh,
that's
it's
okay.
time to
You
go
can
look
watch
at
it whenever.
Bobby's. Well, no, I like hearing it. Like, you know, I try to put it on, you know, as soon as like I get the notification when I can. Sometimes I'm stuck in the middle of doing something. That's why like Fridays for me, it was perfect because it was like you going right at 12 and that's always right around my lunchtime. So even if I couldn't tune in right then, it was like 30 minutes later, I'm going to lunch and I'm like, it's time, Decker Northcutt.
Yeah.
No, you can still listen to it on Fridays at lunch.
Oh, I definitely do.
Right.
I listen to it multiple times throughout the week. So
it's always going to be there. I'm just trying to grab, you know, people that might be watching YouTube at night and just see that pop up and say, hey, let's check this out.
It's a good call, brother. And you got to do what works best for you and just keep putting out the good work, man, because I love it.
Yeah, it's amazing. Yeah, keep at it, Bobby. So anything else coming up for you that
I don't think so. Just every week starting Wednesdays. Yeah.
Cool.
Oh, and I do have a new episode coming out on Monday because it is a universe story. Universe stories do come out on Mondays. I have Inner Scare Sleep, who's the one that interviewed me that one day. He's the one that's going to narrate that one.
Oh, nice.
Yeah. So
that's great.
I'll
he has
sprinkle
a good
in
narrating voice.
Yeah, and I'll sprinkle in those Wild West horror stories once in a while too.
Love it. Love it. Adam, what do you got going on?
Videos right now. I just did one on the Motu advertising timeline, which is like the original release order by the first time it was ever advertised in a newspaper for all the vintage toys.
Oh, so cool.
And then I just finished a She-Ra video by request of one of my Patreon followers. Even though I'm not really a She-Ra expert, Allison helped out with some background info, so thank you for that. So that's available to my Patreons and will be available to everybody next week.
That's fantastic.
That's cool.
That's great. Yeah, tune in, folks. And by the way, everybody, if you're new to this show, there's all the links are right down below. Go subscribe, go Patreon, do what you're gonna do. So before I talk about what's going on with me, let's do our giveaway.
Let's do it.
All right, folks.
Do it now.
So the giveaway tonight is Fangor, and Adam has
give it away now.
right there. And I gotta shave my head like Flea in that video with the spiral. Yeah.
Classic
all right,
Chili Peppers.
Those of you who are watching right now, I'm assuming that you were watching when Adam did his Battle Ram report. So the question comes from that. The first person to answer this question correctly the first answer that appears in the chat. So if you type it in and you click enter and it appears second, even though you clicked enter, you somehow thought you were first. And sometimes you are first, but the computer brings it in and it's second. Just letting you know, it's the first one that appears first. And apologies, of course, if you typed it in first and it showed up second. So the first,
you'll never know.
It's hard to know this, right? But
I'm watching both chats. I got one over here, one over here. I got the StreamYard chat here, which apparently doesn't always show what David says. And then I've got the YouTube chat over here. so that if he says something, I can be like, "Oh, David put it in the chat."
Okay, so Oz is going to be the determiner because I'm not looking at both. Oz is the determiner of who answers this question first. Okay, I'm going to say this question fast.
I would say use the YouTube version of it. That's where everybody.
Yeah,
that's what everybody
seems to be more
sees.
up to date.
Yeah, but that's what they all see, not us.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Okay, yeah, use the YouTube version. That's great. I'm glad you're doing this.
That's everybody's watching that. They don't see our StreamYard one.
Yeah, so previous giveaways. I was looking at the chat here, so
all right, it's probably the same.
Yeah. All right, here we go. I'm going to say this question fast because it gives itself away pretty much.
Determinator.
What was Nordor originally called on the back of the Doomcopter?
Wow.
Hey, everybody. That's right.
Thanos shows up. Oh,
all right. Aaron Davies.
Nice.
He's the only one to have answered.
Nice.
He got it.
Aaron Davies. You got it, my friend. Aaron Davies. So we are going to send you a Fangor. And if you decide, Aaron, on your own, you would like to give it to somebody else and pass on the love, just let us know and we'll send it to them. But if you'd like it, just I have your address, I think, deep in my messages. But send it to me again if you don't mind, Aaron, and then I'll forward it over to Adam, and Adam will mail it to you. So congratulations, Aaron. You won Bangor.
Nice.
All right.
Thanks again to David for donating this to us to give away too.
Yes. Moto Origins Cork, David, always a huge thank you. Thank you so much for your donations. It really helps us give stuff away to folks, and it keeps everybody happy, and you're great.
I like Aaron's attitude. I can always use more snake men. Yes.
Yeah, that's Oz. Right. That sounds like Oz. Yeah.
Totally
cool.
sounds like
yeah.
It's like this guy, man, he's a reptile dude.
Yeah.
When I saw these, like, all I thought was like, in Conan battling like, snake stuff, and that's really what I like about these guys. And John was saying the same thing on Geeked Out Click on Tuesday. He was mentioning that, like, he felt like the Savage Crucible, the Lemurians were just like fodder for his Mezco Conan, and that's great.
Oh, that's perfect. Absolutely right? Perfect.
Yeah. They just look like they would be like acolytes of Set because they're these reptile men. And that's
exactly it.
Conan just blare through them.
Brilliant. I want to see Conan rip that jaw apart like King Kong in the original King Kong.
I mean, I hate to say rip one of these figures apart, but yes.
That would be great. All right. So real quick for me, the usual thing. I've got this Snake Mountain build. I'm going to start painting that thing soon. So we're getting close to the end. I'm really excited. So the next, go ahead.
Well, I was going to ask, do we get a little idea of what color scheme are we going here? Are we going Filmation again, or are we going?
The person who commissioned it is asking for Filmation colors.
Sweet, because you don't see enough of that out there. No. Right, like everybody wants
the green.
Dude, your build on that Bone Throne.
That's beautiful.
Yeah, I'm pretty stoked on this. This is going to be the same color as the bones. It's all going to be bone colored and give it a black wash. But this is John, figuratively speaking. If you're still watching, I know he's a fan. This is Final Faction. This piece up here.
Yeah. It's like one of the backpack weapons of the guys. Like has two guns that go over the shoulder,
and these. Oz, for you, these two skulls glow in the dark.
Yes, you got to tape those up when you paint it, so you don't.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I didn't know how that was going to turn out when I saw those little plastic bones you had and everything. I was like, I wonder how it's going to look. I don't know how cheesy that's going to look, or
it's going to, right?
Good. But it looks
doesn't look cheesy at all. Like it's
amazing,
so good.
No, I know. I mean, when you see them in pieces, it's kind of like it's a little weird, but
you should have.
And then bam, it's like wow.
I did not document the torture of trying to figure out where everything was going to go and how I could avoid the cheesiness because that's very true.
Oh, I mean, it's great.
Yeah. Thank you. I appreciate that.
And then in your video where you're like, I'm going to try to repurpose the wings with it. And then it's like, well, I had already seen like the one picture you sent us in the one chat. So I knew you didn't repurpose the wings in there. And I'm like, oh man, I guess that means he didn't use the wings. And then like later when you show it at the top, I'm like, oh dude, that is so rad. Like it looks perfect up there around the bat head.
It made sense. I was like, where could these wings go? And then I was like, oh wait, the bat. Yeah, so
it looks perfect. Like it takes a lot of the elements from the toy Snake Mountain, the Filmation Snake Mountain, puts it together in this great amalgam of both, and it's just great. It's great to see each and every one of these that you build because they're all unique, and just each one gets better in certain ways because you come up with new ideas. Now, that's not to say that any of the previous ones you've made is a lesser quality than the newer ones.
It's just different,
yeah, it's neat to see you reinvent it.
Yeah, thank you, Oz. I mean, it's always exciting to feel the kind of growth that comes with repeated builds like this. Thank you, Ace. Thank you, Ace. That's awesome, Aaron. That's great. Hey, any way we can redefine that for folks, that's exciting. Appreciate that. And yeah, Filmation. Yeah, that's the Filmation Snake Mountain. Still, like, I'm hoping, even if it's 25 years from now, if someone puts out a Filmation style playset that looks like the cartoon exactly, that will be awesome. Doesn't have to be huge, just something.
It should be huge.
Yeah.
It's got to be mountainous.
So that's it for me. I mean, we're recording another Cambridge and Washawn episode soon. For those of you who are not listening to the Cambridge and Washawn podcast, do tune in to that. Talk to my friend Mark about the similar things that we talk about here. And that's it, I guess.
What about the No And band?
Oh, and started a band. And you can follow No And on YouTube. There's a link right down below. We're making some crazy post-punk experimental, pushing the boundaries however we can with music. And I haven't done anything like this in a long time. So if you don't like it, tell me why so I can help make it better.
It stinks.
Thanks, Bobby.
I like listening to it because it's different.
Yeah, thank you.
It's familiar and it's different. Like you can hear the influence of older music in it, but it's done in like a different way than what we're used to. So
this new song Domesticity that we just put out this week. So we've been putting out songs on the streaming services, and Domesticity, it's like I was really trying to figure out what it sounds like, and I can't really identify a particular band that, I mean, there's definitely, you can feel like some post-punk influence, but like you said, Oz, I don't know. It's hard to know why and how these things come out the way they come out, but it's definitely different.
Are you guys influenced a little bit by Suicide as well?
Yeah, there's definitely some Suicide influence. There's definitely
goofy,
some Suicide.
that not goofy, but they're different.
Yeah,
very, very different. I mean, especially from back then.
Yeah, for sure. There's definitely some of that. The next album should be called Yes and
Yes, Ferratu.
Yeah. All right, that's enough. I've talked about me enough. Oz, what do you got going on?
Well, as everybody knows, every Saturday night we got a clubhouse going on. That'll start, in the late evening hours over on the East Coast here, all the way until the wee morning hours, just hanging out, opening up toys, talking about crap from the week, toy news, gut health, kombucha, how many new Batman's been discussed over the course of the stream. It's just always a weird and crazy fun place to hang out and have fun. And just relax, try to decompress from the week and get to that fun play state that we all had as a kid, like, just hanging out and enjoying yourselves. That's coming out. I just released what I'm going to be called Check Out My Fucking shorts, where it's going to be reaction shorts of me reacting to other creators' contents.
I love that.
Yeah, that's why they're called Check Out My Fuggin' Shorts, Fuggin.
Yeah.
So the first one that I did was yesterday. It was a remix of one of Random Diorama's shorts. If you're not familiar with Random Diorama, he does live streams on
his work.
Friday nights.
Yeah.
Oh, dude, he's great. And like watching him do the lives on Fridays, if you've had a long, stressful week and you're stressed or you just want to start decompressing going into the weekend, he'll have like some smooth jazz on and he's just sitting there cutting foam and painting and making all kinds of 1/12 props and accessories for stuff. Absolutely great. Oh, and my head of marketing, Allison, I appreciate you. If you're not into yoga, you got to be into DDP yoga, which is not Yo Mama's yoga, as he advertised it. Oh, there we go.
The dog's not going to wave back, Skelly.
But yes, so I just did my first one yesterday. I was supposed to do one today, but after work, I kind of crashed out and woke up a little late, and then I was scrambling to get everything ready to come on tonight. So I'll be releasing my second reaction short tomorrow, and you never know what's going to be coming out next. I know in the next few weeks, I've actually got a really big project